We're just very excited. Thanks for having us back again, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who are you?
What's that movie? Is it a hit? Don't ask her like she'll say, I haven't seen it.
Welcome to the Haven't Seen It podcast. This is a podcast where we get people on the show and we get them really drunk and they tell me about a movie that I've never seen before. I'm Alenka Zach.
And I'm Will.
And I fucked up that intro a little bit. I just realized.
Wait, did you? I did not notice.
Well, maybe if you cared about the details, you would have noticed. I said we get people on the show and we get them really drunk. We don't get them here. We bring them. Idiot.
There's a big difference. Yeah.
I know. Sounded stupid.
Well, no, honestly, there is a difference. We bring people
together.
That, we ask or we're like, hey, do you want to be on the show? But we get, awesome people. The awesome people that come to the show, we get them. That's like a get.
I don't know what you're doing right now, Will, but I don't
we
like
need you to come on the show.
I hate what
we
you're
bring.
doing.
I'm saying that our next guests are a get. They're a get.
Hey, we
get
got
to have them
them
on our show.
We
They're
got
our
them.
friends, and we get them. They are a get. You've heard of them before. They are currently the reigning champions of guestage on this show. I guess that's a word.
That's a good crown.
This is their third appearance. Our good friends, all the way over on the chill spot, capitalistic media empire. Sam and Cam.
Whee! Hello.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Sick of us yet?
Sick of us now.
No. We
I was thinking the
never
third time we
tire.
come on the show, we should be extra obnoxious. So
Obnoxious.
I'll just pick a voice and talk it the whole time.
Just
Okay.
Just ruin it. Just
Do
ruin it.
Wait,
for
no,
us.
I'll do a
don't,
sloth voice.
don't.
Well, I mean, I say you're a get because you are streaming 3 times a week, 4 times a week.
You're a get,
making
yes.
sketch videos.
Those are hard
you're
to get.
creating theater on the side. You have busy schedules. So
What can I say?
Ass.
We're busy people. And between all that time of playing video games and smoking weed, we find the time to.
You make time for the things that you want to do that matter to you.
Yeah.
And this matters
That's
to us.
poetic.
Exactly.
So we make
Oh
it
my
work.
god, stop
Yeah.
it. Extra points for Sam.
Oh, don't introduce competition into it because I'll fucking win.
But you guys gave us a wonderful, hilarious video for our 100th episode. And that warmed our hearts.
Yeah.
just congratulations,
Stop.
100.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
again for sending us such a nice little vid.
Yeah.
Vid.
I mean, we actually, real talk, we watched it once on recording, obviously, but after we finished recording, I think we watched it 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah.
It was just-
Just by ourselves.
yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
I literally ran home and I was like, "Oh, Sam, look at the nice things they said to us." They said about me and Alenka.
Sickening.
Oh my goodness.
So cute.
We all
Lots
gotta
of love
grab
here
hold
today.
of those warm fuzzies and never let go.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I think that's really why
Seriously.
we've been on this podcast so many times is because we're both just chasing that good feeling.
Yeah.
I mean,
Addicted to serotonin. Yeah.
podcast. Yeah, exactly. Podcasting is such a saturated industry, and it's when you find that good connection with another podcast, you really gotta grip it tight and just don't let go.
Give me more.
Podcasting is my
Give me
cocaine.
more. Give me more.
Yeah.
Brittany.
Who needs hard drugs when you have a podcast? Am I
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Honestly, that should be our anti-drug campaigns. you
Yes,
know?
I was just going to say
Exactly.
we should go to every high school in the country and preach.
Yeah.
Reach the message of don't do drugs, just start a podcast.
Yeah.
Start
Don't
a
do
podcast
drugs.
with your friends.
Drink alcohol and go on a podcast.
Exactly.
It's
For
worth
the money
it.
that you could get for a cheap piece of shit 8-ball of cocaine, you could buy a Yeti mic and broadcast your thoughts to the world.
For an 8-ball,
Yeah.
you can get a nice microphone for how much you pay for an 8-ball. Not that I know that.
We're just speculating.
I assume.
Hey, you know the market price? You know, Cam. I know you do.
Anyone needs...
One of us clearly does drugs, and the other one
Well, I mean,
Never
I mean,
touch
we
it.
can't even say that you're not. I don't know if we want to broadcast this or not, but we can't even say you don't do drugs.
yeah.
My word.
Yeah.
I'm-
And we're just going to
Yeah.
leave it at that. I personally, my drug of choice is ibuprofen. for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if the feds are going to come after me for that one.
This is actually just dinner spices. I got parsley and basil in here. Yeah.
So vague. I love that. Dinner spices. Got that good mix of dinner spices tonight.
It smells like a pizza in here.
Well, I love you. This is great banter, but we got to get to what movie we're talking about.
You know what? It's so funny because like I always listen to the episode after our episode so that I can be like, they're not as fucking good as I am.
Wow. I love how Will was like, let's start the movie talk. And Sam was like, whoa, okay.
I was going to tie it in. I was like, they talk for too long. They banter for too long. They drag it out. They're not as good as I was. I kept it moving. I kept it going.
You're all
I have
about
the perfect
pacing.
balance of pacing and banter. I'm perfect. And then like here I am just yammering.
I'm better than you.
Yeah.
That's the de-evolution of it, right? It's like they talk for too much long. Too much long? They talk for too much long.
Yeah,
like
you guys are
caveman.
the best guests, clearly.
The most educated. And that devolves into you from being, we did well on the podcast, to I'm perfect.
I am the perfect
That's
podcast guest, and everyone is so. If anything, you listening to this episode right now are benefiting from hearing me. I'm doing you a favor. You're welcome.
So what about the movie we watched today?
Buddy, get ready.
What are we even
Get fucking ready.
Oh,
Dog.
yeah.
Do we? Do you want me to tell you, or like, do you want to do a host thing?
Well, the first question I want to ask is, Cam, did you watch it, or are you?
I did.
Oh?
We
You
watched
did
it this
watch it.
afternoon.
Yeah,
Oh,
What do you
right.
mean, did you
watched it
watch
hours
it?
ago.
I know we talked about potentially like me being the other clueless one, but I've always wanted to see this movie, actually, so we decided to give it a watch.
Mhm.
All right, first time
Yes.
watch for Cam, but
Yeah.
Sam, what movie you're watching? It's one of
We're
my favorites.
watching the Goonies.
The Goonies.
Sam, you Goonies!
We're talking about the Goonies.
I love it. I love the
Yeah.
Goonies.
Okay.
Yeah, this movie holds a special place in my heart. So I went to a home daycare growing up. Story time, banter, I know.
There you go.
But I went to a home daycare growing up, and she had a really sick DVD, VHS collection.
Classic.
And I went to her from the time I was like an infant to like senior kindergarten. So
Too
when the kids
old.
started getting a little,
Sorry.
I know. I was a veteran. I was a veteran of
You went to
pre-K.
daycare for a little too long.
Yeah. But as the kids got a little bit older, she would start letting the older kids do like older kid activities, and that included watching movies with swears in them.
Oh,
So one of the first movies that we watched is like Big Kids. She like made all the little kids like leave the room and be like, "Okay,
Stop.
big kids, like this is your TV
Yeah.
time," and we
Cute.
like watched the Goonies. And like
Made
when
you feel
Chunks said
special.
shit for the first time, we were like, "Oh, it was the
Chunks.
best."
he said SH hockey stick T.
Yeah,
No, that's not it. That's
He
not.
did.
That's not right. That's not right. It's wrong. Well, it's
Oh, it was
wrong.
the best.
Hockey stick with the top cut off and then laid just lightly above.
Yeah.
T.
No, it's wrong.
It's so roundabout. It's so fucking funny. Love the idea of like, wait a minute, you don't mean this letter, do you?
Yeah. The
Like the
the
eye is
letters,
what
the
makes
bad
it.
thing.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a great little adventure movie. It's one of the classic 80s films that I think everybody needs to watch. That's not
Honestly,
a John Hughes film.
Pre-internet, Netflix, all that. I don't think I ever watched this movie on like a DVD or VHS. I always caught it on TBS. Like it was always on someone. I think it's TBS. That's where I also watched A Christmas Story all the time. But I would always catch it on TV playing, and I would just sit down and watch the whole thing when I was
Interesting,
a kid.
because
So-
I also saw A Christmas Story on TV only, but if it was on TBS, that's where I would have been watching it.
It
But
was
somehow
probably
I missed
now
the
Peachtree
Goonies.
TV, but
Somehow
Yes.
I totally
R.I.P.
slided
TBS.
past the Goonies.
you slid
Weird.
past.
You
Okay.
were preparing for this podcast way before you
I
knew that you were
know.
preparing for this
Exactly.
podcast.
I like
Yeah.
it was always watching another channel when the Goonies was on.
Yes.
It was
I was like,
unavoidable.
oh, the Goonies are on Switch.
Yeah.
I'll need that
God,
later.
Family Guy has
CNN.
to be on right now.
Yeah.
It's
God
gotta
damn.
be.
Friends on one of the 90 channels that it's on. I was
On,
watching one
on
of those.
TBS, formerly Peachtree, or no,
No,
Peachtree,
now
formerly
Peachtree.
TBS.
Yeah.
Get it right. God.
Yeah,
Man, R.I.P. TBS, but that's a
But,
story for another
yeah,
day.
I love this movie. It's so fun. And
I gotta say,
Yeah.
like,
Why?
like as an adult, okay, so like this movie is great when you're a kid because the kids are doing things that kids never get to do, which is like unsupervised, like go on an adventure and like find a pirate's treasure. Like there's
I've done that.
But as an adult,
childhood.
and Cam pointed this out actually
kidding.
when after we finished watching it, he was like, they shout every line.
Yeah, it's like the whole movie.
Like every line
It's true,
is
yeah.
like, guys, we have to go to the left.
All the kids are up here
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
And there's no
I know.
point.
Good.
I
When that
recently,
comes
I actually
hate when
recently
kid actors are
discovered,
good.
yeah, like
I do.
that
I'm
cadence
going
of
to hate
like
this movie.
that cadence of boy scream is just specifically 80s and like early 90s.
It's
You know
true.
what I mean? Like I recently discovered this. Like I'm like, oh my god, they actually all sound the same. Is when I was watching The Never-Ending Story. The
Great
kid
movie.
in that movie, or no, the other kid, Atreyu,
Yes.
screams so many lines, and it's always in that weird boy cadence that is in every
Yeah.
one of those
Boy
movies.
cadence.
Yeah.
Like, wait, come back, come here.
Right.
Honestly,
right.
it kind of like it even like dampens my memory of the quicksand scene where I'm just like, bitch, calm down. It's so dramatic. Like
Stop
it's so dramatic.
yelling.
That's a pretty. That's
I know.
a little
It's
heartless
like,
of
it's
you.
like it's like the most harrowing scene, but I'm
He's
like,
about to
your
die.
intention isn't
Yeah.
very clear in the objective of this scene.
you know what I'm saying? I'll
Yeah,
kill your
kids,
cat right in front of
get
you.
it
I want to see.
together.
I want to see how you react
Yeah.
to that.
I mean, this isn't the Never-Ending Story, though. This is
No.
this is the
No.
Goonies.
The Goonies.
Have you done the Never-Ending Story?
No,
Nah.
but
Okay,
we
so I
should.
won't.
We should.
I'll shut up.
Yeah.
I'll come back on for that
Going
one.
I'm sure that's on there.
Yeah. The other thing I want to mention about this movie before Alenka gets to her plot summary
Oh.
is every time I watch this movie, I still feel like, was there a TV show? Was this a sequel? There's such good like immediate world building that I'm like, are we supposed to know everything that's happening right away? Because everything's just so solidified when the movie starts. You're like,
Called
the
good
characters are
writing.
just already there, and you're like, this was like a TV show, right? Like we're supposed to know why they're the Goonies and why they call themselves the Goonies.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
we don't.
Yeah,
We
and
don't
we'll
even know that. Like,
They-
you have to
Detail on
read
that
about it.
particular plot point, but I
They
totally
let
agree.
They let
It's
you
like,
think.
They let your imagination go wild. you
Yeah.
know?
Sure.
They plant the seeds and let you do the growing.
They don't
Totally.
spell shit out for you like I'm a dumbass.
Right.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg really doesn't explain shit to you.
Well, I mean, he actually did not direct that movie. He
No.
only wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
But
Chris
he
Columbus
wrote
wrote
it.
the screenplay.
No,
He
he,
wrote
the story itself, like the actual story, is created by Steven
I see
Spielberg.
what you mean.
But then the-
Screenplay is Chris Columbus
Yeah.
of
Right.
Harry Potter fame, and
Yes.
directed by our unfortunately now deceased Richard Donner. Last week, he actually
just
passed
passed
away.
away, yeah.
Last
Yeah.
week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm behind.
it was the director of Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did not know
Yikes.
that.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
he passed away, and this is after we chose to do this movie. So I figured, let's do it to honor
Yes,
his
yeah.
memory.
there you go.
Perfect.
He,
Good.
he was a, he was a
On
great
those,
man.
those death hashtags, you know,
Da,
get
da,
those
da,
views.
da, 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 da,
Oh my
da.
god.
It's
We're
a
gonna
sad
do
a
it.
man died, but are you really going to let the SEO go by? I mean,
Not
come
at
on.
all.
Exactly.
Definitely
Side
not.
note. So I Googled Richard Donner just now just to see if I like immediately recognized him anywhere else. And I really hope this is a mole, but the picture that I'm looking at, it's the first one that pops up when you Google him. And there is a enormous, what looks like to be a dilated pore of whiner on his right ear,
what?
which a dilated pore of whiner is essentially an enormous blackhead. Like it is a aggressively
Oh my
large
God, that thing
blackhead.
is fucking
And I'm
gross.
wondering who let him go out like that and didn't fucking tell him. Because he's at like you can tell he's at like a red
That is
carpet, like
fucking
black tie event,
gross.
and he's just got this massive fucking black spot just
Can you
like
guys send it on
poking
our,
out of his
our
ear.
messenger,
This is so
please?
weird.
I
Are we
want
talking about
God.
the Goonies?
Yeah.
I'm sure if he saw that picture, he would just, you know.
Yeah.
Rolling
He's
in his
actually
That's how he
great.
died, actually. He finally saw that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he finally got it taken out and it sucked his whole brain with him.
Good Lord.
All right, Alenka,
Please continue.
what do you think this movie is about? I'm sure if you don't know anything about it, you're gonna have such a great guess. I'm really excited.
Okay, so I've like Family Guy's made reference. So this is the one with the truffle shuffle, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's
With
correct.
the belly
It is.
bubble. Okay, we got a group of kids, and they're in their
Yes.
own. Like I'm getting some Stand By Me vibes, where like there's these group of kids,
Sure.
and they're just like hanging out, and they're gonna like go travel or whatever. And I want to say there's a monster. Maybe.
No.
Well,
What?
No.
not in the way that you think.
If this were 1980, whatever, when this came out, we would say monster. But
Yeah.
we are more
I see
politically
what you're
aware
saying.
now. We are more politically
Really?
It's a
aware
little politically incorrect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To call
We'll
them a
have to-
monster
maybe
now.
we'll go into that.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I can kind of piece this probably together, I'm sure. But I don't want to get in shit. Whatever. Okay, Family Guy made reference to something looking like the Goonies monster. So
Yeah.
I'm going to guess there's some sort of, I don't know, like maybe it's someone who was in like some sort of like, I want to say like chemical accident or like something.
Mhm.
And so their skin is like deformed. And
Mhm.
is
Yep.
there a sewer? Maybe there's a sewer. Maybe this person's in the sewer.
I gotta think about
And
No, he's not. He's not in a sewer.
Oh, no, you
No.
can't tell
I'm
her what's going
guessing.
on.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
We weren't
So
confirming
they
or denying. We're just
go
pontificating over here.
to a sewer and they find this person and they're quite terrified of him, but they just eventually escape him. And I'm pretty sure they save the town from sudden death and they become heroes in their town. And the guy that does the shuffle with his belly, they name a song after him, and then every day on the grade 8 graduation, all the kids have to do the truffle shuffle and donate $2 to his family.
Like a
have to
Terry
donate.
Fox run, but
Yeah.
they just all do the truffle shuffle at one time.
Yeah.
They'll go to the street and do the truffle
Jesus
shuffle.
Christ.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The Terry Fox run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that was
truthfully, I have
that
no
was
clue.
scarily accurate.
Was
You
it
guys
really?
remember
I
the
don't know.
Scholastic Truffle Shuffle Fair?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
You donate $5, you do the truffle shuffle.
Toonies for the truffle shuffle.
Yeah, I actually don't really know what happens. Like that was super vague and gave literally like no detail. So as you can imagine,
Yeah.
I'm in for the ride.
I
No,
mean,
you
yeah.
hit some really good points there. I'm quite happy with that.
Okay.
Good to hear.
I'll allow it. Yeah. Good performance review.
So long as
Keep
you're
up the good
satisfied.
work
Yeah.
in the next quarter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Save the town is kind of right.
No way.
Those stakes are a
Fuck
little
yes,
high though. This is
bitch.
not necessarily the town that they're trying to
It
save.
is. No, it
No.
is.
But
It
it's
is.
but
It's the town.
but they're trying to save something. Yeah,
Town.
for sure.
Definitely.
That's true.
The town.
This
and
is
they
true.
they definitely go into like not sewers, but definitely
Cave.
underneath
Secret
systems.
tunnel.
Lots of
tunnels.
wet places.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
wet, very wet.
Mhm.
This is
Extremely
a
wet.
moist
If you
movie.
will.
This is a moist movie.
Most of this movie is very slick,
Yeah.
slimy to the touch.
It's slimy and dark
I'm-
and slick.
Excited to find out more about that 'cause I think you guys are referencing.
Yeah. Well, before we get into that, let's get
His
into
drink.
some drinkages.
His
Into
drink. This sounds so good. I didn't
so
make
the
it.
drink
It is
is
pretty
called Hey You Guys.
Oh yeah, they say that. They say that.
Yeah, they say that. And this is basically a liquid Baby Ruth. You want to coat a glass in chocolate and caramel sauce, and then you're gonna kind of make a little milkshake out of peanut butter, Irish cream, and whiskey.
Why not ice cream? Why
Uh,
didn't you put ice cream in this? Seriously.
You could if
Peanut
you wanted
butter?
to.
Just like
Yeah.
thick peanut butter? Are you sick?
yeah, it's
You
just
know
like a
what?
shake, like a
If
smoothie.
I may add, the peanut butter once you
Please.
blend it makes like a frothy peanut butter top, like a peanut butter head,
Yeah,
and it's actually
Nice.
quite enjoyable.
Mhm.
Okay.
Wow.
Fine.
And
You've
then
been
you
redeemed.
garnish that with a Baby Ruth or
Baby Ruth.
similar, because I'm not sure where to find a Baby
Is there
Ruth in
character named
Canada,
Ruth?
but
Yeah.
they're out there somewhere. So
Okay.
Snickers, O. Henry, others.
I did Kit
whatever's
Kat
similar.
because
Big
that's my
Turk.
personal favorite.
That's true. That's
Big
true. Yeah.
Turk.
Yeah.
That's
Big
what we
Turk
use.
is not good for
Use a
this
big
drink,
Turk.
but
Use a big Turk.
Oh my god.
Try it. You might
yeah,
like
use
it.
a Bounty. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Um,
I love those. Fuck you guys.
Bounty.
Garnished with a peppermint patty.
Oh, where you like cut a little slit in it, like put it on the rim of the glass
Oh,
like a
yeah.
goddamn lime.
like a
So
lime, and you squeeze it in.
cute.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
You like
Oh.
squeeze the peppermint into. Ugh.
Yeah. It's like, ew,
But that-
gross.
That's
So
the Hey You Guys
Okay.
liquid
And it's
liquid Baby
delicious.
Ruth. It's delicious.
Yum,
You've
you know,
had delicious drinks for your episodes.
I
Not the
I've
first
been
one.
crushing it. I think I
Not-
told you
not
to
the
your
first
face
one.
already that I didn't like the Jaws one so
No,
much.
so
but
bad.
the
That's
Super
true,
Freak
yeah.
from Little Miss Sunshine and
That
this
had
Hey
ice
You
cream.
Guys is great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'll
Yeah.
have you
Well,
guys
it's-
know
Actually,
that
I've
I've
made
watched,
the Super Freak since that episode.
Oh, you have
Oh.
you?
Yeah.
Wow.
and I've
I
watched
know.
that movie twice since that episode.
I'm so
Oh,
glad.
Have you been enjoying it? That's good.
Yeah, I like it. Like it a lot.
Isn't it the best?
Such a warm movie.
best.
So
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
Love that.
So you guys win.
So shall we open?
Yeah, well, Cam
yeah.
and Sam.
Yep.
How does this movie start?
Good question.
In jail.
No
In jail,
way.
it does.
We sky
Prison.
pan down. You start in the sky and you pan down
Not what I
and you
expected.
fly like you go right into the prison.
I think
Mhm.
it
way.
fades in.
Does it fade in?
Yeah, I think it fades in.
It doesn't
but
do
we'll
like
go
a
with-
sick
No, it
Marvel
doesn't.
shot.
No.
It's just like over the shoulder of the guard, you know. Like
In.
no, okay,
No,
so I
not
guess it
quite.
fades in,
Yeah.
and then
So we fade into jail, lunchtime at the jail, and everyone
yum,
is
yum.
sort of filtering out of their cells for lunchtime. And the guard walks up because he notices that one particular inmate has not left his cell. So he goes in to push him along,
what the fuck?
and he finds that he has hung himself.
No,
His
what?
cell.
I thought this
You
was a
watched
kid's
this
guy.
while
movie.
you were in kindergarten?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty
Oh, yeah.
adult
Yeah.
themey.
And
That's actually Sam's favorite part.
Shut
attached
your
to
mouth.
his body is
No.
a note. I forget what it says verbatim, but like on the cover, it
It says to whom it may concern.
it says to who it may concern, which I think is so annoying. It's to
So
whom.
rude.
It's to
He's
whom
in
it may concern.
prison.
But
I
He
mean,
doesn't
in prison.
know.
He's,
No,
he's
yeah.
an
Why do you
Italian
think he got in prison in the
henchman.
first
The
place?
prisoner pipeline system obviously like succeeded and failed him in the process. So
Also,
it's
for
to
the
whom-
longest time, I thought this dude was Ted Danson. I was like,
Yes.
"This is Ted Danson." It's not. It's
I
not
can
Ted
see it.
Danson.
I can see.
I can
it's
see why you
somebody
thought
Some
else.
that,
Italian
though.
guy who then, when I Wikipedia, had found
Tony
out
Danza.
he's a very, very staunch conservative, supported Trump,
Staunch.
and he's in Toronto's Italy's Walk of Fame, Little Italy's Walk of Fame, for his
Wow.
contributions
Oh, for
to the
fuck's sake.
Italian community because he's an actual opera singer.
Cool.
But
Oh, amazing!
fun
Oh
fact
my
about
God.
that guy.
What a
Just-
mess of a person.
What?
Wait, so he's
Okay.
so
Canadian?
confusing.
He's not
He's
Canadian,
fine,
but he's in
guys.
Toronto. He's in
He's
Toronto's
different
Little
and
Italy.
he's fine.
he's in Toronto, Little Italy's Walk of Fame.
Literally.
Oh,
Yeah,
You
little
will.
Italian
Literally.
Toronto
Yeah.
loves that guy.
Literally,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's his
so
favorite.
Everywhere you
Interesting.
go, all the bars in Little Italy and Toronto play
Yeah.
the
Have
Goonies.
his
But like
picture.
just his parts, just like a super cut of his parts.
When the sun rises
So
in Little
cute.
Italy in Toronto, someone opens a window and goes, "Hey, you the guy!"
Oh, Christ.
But yeah, so that guy's hung himself in his cell, and on the
Right.
note attached it
So
says,
he's-
"To who it may concern." I'm bringing it back.
It's just
You said I was too bad.
the image was funny. Go,
Yeah.
please
Yeah.
continue.
And the cop, like the guard, flips the note over, and it says, "You schmuck! You really thought that I would kill myself?" And he looks
Oh.
up, and the guy is smiling. He
Ooh.
faked him out.
Yeah, he fucked with him real hard.
He faked hung
Real fake.
himself.
Actually, he did this great thing where it's like, because he's like reading the note and like he's looking down at the note, and then as you, the viewer,
Yeah.
read the note at the same time as the guard, it like just like pans back up, and the guy, he's got his eyes open, and he's just like,
Just like kicks him in the chest.
yeah, ha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Darn.
And then
Knocks
we
him out.
cut. Then we cut to Joe Pantaleone, who is awesome.
Pantaleone?
Yes.
Who second? I think I don't know if he's ever been in any other movie yet, but second appearance on the podcast, he was in The Matrix, our very first episode. He was in that movie. So
callback.
Cute.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
callback. Yeah.
Cute.
He's dumping like fucking gas around the jailhouse. This is like classic small town jailhouse.
Excuse me?
Yeah, because it's county jail. It's not
County,
like maximum
yeah.
prison.
Yeah.
Obviously.
He walks out of his door, and it's just like Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Be.
Joe Pantaleone is like in a speedboat. Like,
Yeah, he's
hey,
like, I'm gonna light the water on fire,
Yeah.
I guess.
You
hey,
could.
hey, we managed it.
Yeah,
we
that's true.
managed
That
it.
did happen.
Topical.
Yeah.
And so then there's also this woman played by who's she played by?
I looked her up too. I don't remember her name.
I don't know,
though.
but she ugly.
Yeah.
Oh,
I honestly thought it was.
she's different
Yeah.
and she's fine.
Sam, just because
Her
you're
name's
pretty now
Anne
doesn't mean you can
Ramsey,
make fun of ugly
no
people.
longer alive. She passed away
Mhm.
Oh.
not too long after this movie, I think, actually.
Oh,
Anyway,
word.
she's so these are the Fratellis, where we will come to know, but they're the
Fratelli.
Fratellis. They're like a crime family. They rob banks and shit. And she's
Mhm.
got like this tattoo and leather gloves. She's at the wheel of this what looks like a
so
Bronco, which is This is pre-OJ. I think this is pre-OJ Simpson.
Yeah.
But it is a Bronco.
Because
I'm
the
still
brand
not
of the car
100%
comes into
familiar
play
with
later
his
in the movie.
legacy.
It's like an OVS or like an OVR or
Oh,
something.
yeah,
No,
something
wasn't
like
that wasn't that the license plate?
No, it's the make of the car.
Yeah, something like
Okay.
that.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
just come back to me now.
So
I watched the movie today.
they're busting him out of jail is
Yes.
essentially the
Busting.
thing is happening.
Yeah, so they bust him out of jail, and that's really scary. And the opening as the opening
Okay.
credits go on, we're introduced to the characters as the police chase like passes by every single
pretty
one
cool.
of the characters.
Actually, before we go, I wanted to mention one thing. So when I was watching this film and it revealed that the man had not, in fact, killed himself,
Mhm.
I was like, well, what's going on here? I thought it was so clever how he what he did is that he put a little like hooked pipe on his belt,
yeah,
Mm.
and he was like hanging
Yeah.
on
Oh,
the
sick
bars
bastard.
behind him. And I just want to point that out and think that's really intuitive. I was
Mhm.
like,
Well, yeah.
of all ways to spin this twist, that's really clever. And it set a bar, right? I was like, this movie's going to be clever. continue.
You're like,
Right.
that's the bar.
Yeah,
Fucking
The
the
pipes
literal
on
bar that we're
bars,
being
yeah.
hung from.
Yes.
He also comes out with this fucking like plaid jacket, scarf, and hat.
Yeah.
That's like he's
I was like,
he's an indie folk singer
well
right now.
dressed.
He's like, he is. He's
Yeah,
got
the way
style
he's
going
dressed.
on.
He
Yeah.
looks like
Mumford
Hosier.
Son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he comes out dressed like the guy from Inside Llewyn Davis.
No,
Llewyn
this is
Davis,
Mumford's
yeah.
father. That's what that was.
Yeah,
That's how old this movie is. Yeah.
This is the father.
This is how the sons got born.
This is the big
Yeah.
lion man.
Oh god. So there's a little bit of a kerfuffle where he's trying to get the door open, and Joe Plantioli is like, "Oh, but they're brothers, and they're always button heads." And he jumps
Yeah.
into the sunroof, and then the fucking chase starts.
yeah.
We're introduced to all
Fun.
the other characters during this.
It's a pretty sweet chase sequence, actually. It
Yeah.
really, actually is pretty high octane
Yeah.
for considering the stakes of the movie so far.
Yeah.
Like, it almost doesn't. Watching the movie and knowing very little about it, I was like, "There's no way what's going to happen. What I think is going to happen, this movie's going to happen." Like, it's like this crime. They're breaking out of prison, and I'm like, I thought this movie was about something else.
Totally.
Right.
But yeah, so we are introduced to our friends.
Are you looking up the names?
I have the cast list right in front of me here. The main boys are Brand and Mikey. So
Yep.
Brand is the older brother and Mikey is the younger kid brother. They have a good relationship.
And those are played by
Okay.
Sean Astin as little boy, Mr.
Right.
Samuel, Sam Frodo,
Shaston.
Samwise.
Samuel Tarley.
Yeah,
Samuel
Samwise.
Frodo is that
Samuel Frodo. Total wrong. Samuel is from Game of Thrones. Frodo's the other one, but yeah. And then Brandon, played by Josh Brolin, as like a
Who
teenager.
the fuck is
Mhm.
Josh Brolin?
He's
He's Thanos in the
Thanos
Avengers.
and Cable.
which is like,
Unfamiliar.
what a crazy fucking
Josh
He also
Brolin
played-
or Josh Groban?
So many characters. No, it's Josh Brolin.
You know what? I always get them confused. Don't you dare feel bad about that because I
I don't
always get
feel
them
bad.
confused at
I
first.
really
That's
wish
who
that dude was played
Thanos
by
is?
Josh Brolin.
Wait, Thanos is
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
big-chinned guy?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, they needed the chin. They needed, that's not even prosthetics or CGI. That's just what his chin looks like.
I thought Thanos, whatever. We'll get to that eventually,
Okay.
but that's not
One of these
that's
days.
not who I thought.
so
they
we've
were.
got Brandon, Mikey, who
Yeah.
are brothers,
Yeah, they're the main two.
and then we've got Mouth,
The Mouth.
played by Corey
Does he
Feldman,
have a
a
big
little baby
mouth?
Corey Feldman, like fresh off of
No, it's
Stand
because
By
he's
Me.
got a fucking he's a mouth,
potty
you know.
mouth.
He talks, he talks back. You
Yeah.
know?
He's a great
What a
kisser.
brat.
He's the
He's a great kisser. Gives
That's what they
good
call
lip.
him, mouth.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no. He's got a tongue for days.
And then you've got Jeff Cohen, who plays Chunk, who is the probably
Big
like
puke.
the most well-known character in this movie.
He's the fat kid.
yeah.
Like that's
Okay.
like
And also the
say
guy
that-
who did not
Chunk.
was not in movies after this. Like rarely.
no. I actually, if I'm not mistaken, he went in to become a lawyer or something.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Good for him.
He's like moved into business. And it was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
fuck
in
you
the
guys.
Nice.
Sorry.
Nice.
No, in the opening scenes when the police chase drives by Chunk, he's in an arcade and he's got like a pizza slice in one hand and a strawberry milkshake in the other. And
Cute.
he's so he's so enraptured in the police chase that he goes up against the glass of like the windows of the arcade and like
Yeah.
smears his pizza
Yeah.
and his milkshake
Oh.
like all over the
Yeah.
window.
What a waste.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No
we just
way.
love making fun of fat kids in the 80s, didn't we?
Oh,
and
oh,
90s
it's like-
and early
I think
2000s.
I'm gonna be Chunk for Halloween. I really
You should do
resonate
it.
with
You
this
should do it.
character.
No, but my favorite thing about the trope of this Chunk character, and it's immediate from the second you see him, you're like, here's the one that is not going to catch a break this film.
He's going to be the fuck up. He's going to be the one they all shit on, the punching bag.
Oh, absolutely.
like openly and constantly shit on Chunk.
Like after we watched
Chunky.
this movie, Cameron was like, that guy was like every single fat kid trope. And I was like, Cameron, Chunk gave birth to
the
half
fat
of these
kid
fat
trope,
kid
yeah.
tropes.
Exactly. Why do you think the guy stopped acting?
Yeah.
Right. No, for real, probably.
And then we have Data. Data is
That's
Dumb.
Yes.
the Asian
I call it
friend who
Data.
is good with technology.
Yeah, Data is the
Classic.
only person who isn't white in this movie.
Yeah.
Classic.
Pretty
That's
much.
okay. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a long time ago, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
they did consider
it's just
Italians
a long time
not
ago.
white back in the 80s, didn't they?
No, genuinely, yeah.
So
the
ridiculous.
Fratellis, they're the other people of color. Yeah.
Oh Lord, help!
Which
Fuck.
is like a weird phenomenon that I did not know about. But yeah, there was a time in society when
They're
like
slightly
Italians were,
more
like,
tan
not
than
white.
the Irish.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You look white, but you talk funny. I don't know.
And yeah,
that's all of them. Yeah.
those are the boys.
And Data
All right, those
also
are the
is the
goons.
actor. What's his name? He played Short Round in
he played
Indiana
Short
Jones
Round.
as well. Yeah.
That's right.
Oh,
In Indiana
fucking
Jones.
know
Yep,
what
he was
that
Short
I did
Round.
not know that.
Yeah.
Short round.
We got to do those
Ki
movies as
Hui
well.
Kwan. I don't know if I
Huh?
pronounced that right.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about a character like
Short
character Data is that
Round.
he's kind of like a tinkerer. Like he's like a tech
He's
guy.
an
Yeah.
inventor.
He's an
He's got
inventor.
all the
Like he's
little
always
gadgets.
he's got these little machines strapped to himself pretty much all the time, and he wears this big ass trench coat
Yeah.
to like cover them all.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
Batman.
So
Yeah.
the
You know?
truck passes him, like he's testing out this like sticky thing that shoots from his chest and like
Yeah.
will pull him on his like shoe wheels that he's got.
His-
Like,
his little-
he
little
invented
plunger
wheelies
grappling
before there
hook,
were
yeah.
wheelies. Yeah.
Yeah. He
And
like
he starts
predated
sliding.
Heelys.
Yeah. And then he crashes into the garbage can and thus. Oh, this is the whole point of this scene, though, is that Chunk is the only one who sees this getaway chase with the gunshots and the everything in the truck. All the other characters miss it. They're distracted by something as the car like drives by their window,
Yep.
Yeah.
or
Okay.
Data falls into a garbage can with his invention, and he just misses the truck. So the whole point is that none of the other characters except for Chunk has witnessed this car chase.
And therefore they're not aware that the Fratellis have broken the eldest son out of prison and are now at large.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
at large.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all kind of culminates the chase. Like they go off and it's done, and we meet kind of Mikey and Brand at their house, and they're all getting together. The Goonies, they call themselves.
Mhm.
Which again,
Right.
I don't think they ever really explain until you like read Wikipedia, and it's because they're part of the Goondocks in Oregon. That's why they call themselves the
Yeah.
Goonies.
They're the
Oh,
Goonies.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So their city's name is Astoria, not like the borough in Queens, but like
Right.
it's like this like the city in or the section of
Of like Portland or
Portland
something.
called
Yeah.
Astoria, and where they live specifically because it's kind of like seaside. It's like by the water, but it's like way out. They're called the Goonies because they
Right.
live in the goons, like the
Yeah.
Goondocks.
And it's
Okay.
really funny
Okay.
because like we've sort of been
And they
alluding.
take like a pride in it.
They also talk about it like it's like, yeah, you
The
breathe
best
you
place.
breathe air. Yeah, we're the Goonies. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah.
you
Didn't
should know.
that? Yeah. That's why I said like this is a beloved
you're better
70s
than
TV
me.
show, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is like the final episode.
Yeah.
Right.
We also see some of the other characters, like the one best friend character, the girl like comes out with a crab, and you're like, what's she doing and what's happening?
Oh,
there?
true.
Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
she's like
That's right.
dunking for crabs in the intro, and
Yeah.
I'm
And
like,
you're
what the fuck? Like,
Is this
who
supposed to
are
teach
you?
us about her character somehow? I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
really makes no sense. But
No, it fills a lot of
yeah,
gaps.
that's a thing. That's a thing that people do in the Goons.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, the Goonies, they all sort of congregate at was it
Mikey and Brand's
Mikey
house.
and Brand. I forgot his name is Brand.
Mhm.
Their
Brand.
house.
Dumb.
And like they'll have like, you know, it's something I love about this whole sequence is that like the first sequence we just saw, which is all sort of indicative of the characters, this one is just like that. So like Mouth shows up and he's like mouthing off to Brand. He's being like, we were supposed to go on big adventures, but this guy didn't
Big
pass his driver's
Oh,
test.
it's worth mentioning. So, like this area, the Goondocks are about to be torn down and
Yeah.
turned into a massive country club.
I was gonna get to
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so like
yikes.
that's why they're all that's
I
why
get it
that's why they're all
now.
like banding together and be like, we're the
Saving
Goonies.
town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, we got to save our homes because they all lived in the same neighborhood.
Right.
They're like and all their
Yeah.
parents are poor as shit. Even though they all live in real, big houses. I don't know.
Because
I don't
houses
believe
were
poor
They don't
shit.
cheap
seem nice.
and anybody
That's
could
true.
afford
That's true.
one.
That's
Like,
really-
grow up.
It was back when you couldn't afford a house and everyone was like, what are you doing? Houses housing is so cheap. Just buy a house.
Yeah.
Just buy one.
Yeah.
Straight
Totally.
up.
Yeah. So we get, Mikey and Bran having brotherly fights and stuff. Bran is like working out all the time. He's a real fitness buff.
Meathead.
Yeah. He actually never changes that fitness outfit the whole film.
Yeah.
He's wearing this, it's like a muscle shirt, and I don't know what they're called, but it's like he was wearing a pair of shorts. No, but it was a pair of shorts and then something he's pulled over it.
No, he's wearing sweatpants with gym shorts over top of them.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Is that
weird.
right?
Yes.
I thought it was the other
Yeah,
way
yeah,
around.
that's
He's
the
wearing some
style.
like 70s like pullover thing.
No, he's
I gotta
literally got a
find
pair
this.
of sweatpants on
Yeah,
with a pair of like
it's a
70s
pair of
gym shorts.
Yeah.
Oh my
over
God.
sweatpants.
That is not how I interpreted that outfit, but yeah.
Yeah. No,
Like-
it's a mess.
Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to look at. You're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is going on here?
Sleeveless
Yeah.
sweater going on, red bandana.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's like a sweat thing where it's like he could wear shorts to work out, but he'll sweat more if he wears sweatpants.
Sure.
Yeah, but
So he put
sweating
them
more
both on
doesn't
for some reason?
actually
But
equal
you know he
more
works out because in the
anything.
first scene he's doing bench presses, right? And his brother comes, he's like, let's go downstairs. And then he sits down in the chair and immediately grabs like a grip pull machine with like springs.
Yeah.
It's just like, so anytime you're breathing, you're working out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta.
I'm here
Yeah.
for the gains and nothing else.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Mouth comes over and he's making fun of Brandon for not getting his driver's license and shit. Cause Brandon's upset about that because all his friends have cars and the girl he likes is dating a guy who has a car and all
Exactly.
that shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's also worth saying that Brand is the oldest of the kids.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
but
the older
you know,
brother.
with someone who hasn't seen the movie, we should
Fair,
point out
fair.
that like Brand is like
Like
you know,
Brand
he's
is like 16, 17 or whatever,
why
and
is he
these
hanging
kids
out
are
with all
like
these
12.
kids?
He's not hanging out with them. It's his little brother's friends, you know.
Why is he
He's
hanging out
stuck
with these
babysitting them
kids?
because his mom is out like
Well, actually,
like,
because in
tying
the
up lands
beloved
with the house.
1970s Goonies television show that totally exists, right? Brandon was the original 12-year-old Goonie.
exactly,
And now,
Exactly.
He was
he
the-
grew up on the show.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
be Brand
this
for
is
Halloween.
legit history. This is canon.
This is
We have
this is
Brand
about
have Chuck.
Brandon passing down the Goonies title
Yeah.
to the
Goonie
next
title.
generation.
Yeah.
In the
9.
GCU.
Yeah. And then Chunk
100%.
shows up. And this
Chunk.
is where they degrade the fat kid again.
Yes.
That's right. They tell him to do the truffle shuffle. My favorite thing about this is that in order to
You
let Chunk
never
inside
should
the
have
house,
showed them the truffle shuffle.
That's what I
That's
thought
what
too.
I
I was
said.
like, when was the first time you did the truffle shuffle? Because that's when you fucked
That
up.
is victim blaming.
it's true. It's true. If someone is shooting at your feet telling you to dance, so you're going to get mad at the person for being like, well, why did you dance?
No,
Yeah,
you're
it's
right.
because
We're
you
awful
danced. They're
fucking
just
You know
gonna keep
what?
shooting
I
your
don't
feet.
appreciate you being
But-
right about this. I wish
I
you had
know.
never said anything.
I know. I'm just confused though if if he's insecure about his belly and that's what they are making fun of him about, then why show them the skill you have about moving
Right.
and manipulating your belly?
I don't
Yeah.
think he's insecure about
No,
his
they
belly.
never
I
make
think
him.
he's just a fat
supremely
kid.
confident.
Oh,
he
he, like,
actually
he
is
doesn't
super
care.
confident.
That's
At all.
true. That's actually
Yeah.
a good point.
He
Chunk
actually-
is really fucking
He's
arrogant.
not
at
shy
times.
about the fact that he enjoys eating.
That's
And
true.
then actually, like further on as they go through like the adventure, he's like, "Guys, it's dinner time. I want to eat.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking do this."
Daddy's
Aw.
hungry. It's
He's a
time for
fat
dinner.
Daddy's
icon. Let's get
hungry.
him on Time magazine.
He's a fat icon.
Yeah, but he comes in. He's like, "Guys, I saw the most craziest thing. The fucking truck was driving a pew and gunshots." And they're all like, "Yeah, right." Just like that time Michael Jackson came over to your house.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like
Okay.
pre-pedophile accusations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When it was
Yeah.
cool to talk about
Sure.
in the
Exactly.
80s.
Right.
See the thing that I love about this part, and this is honestly one of my favorite parts in the movie, because Brand is like, "Oh, sure, Chunk, like the time Michael Jackson came to use your bathroom," and then he's like, "Okay, fine, I may have lied. It wasn't Michael Jackson, but it was his sister." And I was like, "It's even less believable that Janet Jackson came to your house to use the bathroom."
But I want
She
to
could
mention
have.
one small detail of when Chunk enters the house. The way they open up the gate is this like ridiculous Rube Goldberg machine
Yeah.
that like sits outside of their porch.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the whole time I'm like, the gate is like right over there.
Yeah.
Just open the gate. How
Yeah.
did Mouth get in?
right. Mm.
So many questions.
I love how like Rube Goldberg machines in movies is always the sign of like these are like smart, clever kids, and you're like, no, if they're smart, they just open the gate.
Yeah.
You know,
This is the
work
equivalent of a
smarter,
real life
not
loading
harder.
screen. Like,
Yeah.
This is like taking like 5 minutes.
This is like pre-tech era buffering.
Yeah. Like, all right.
No, but it's great. So yeah, so Chunk comes in and tells him that he saw a police chase and it was incredible. It's the most incredible thing he ever seen. And Chunk tells tall tales to be cool. So no one believes Chunk because he does this kind of stuff all of the time.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, sure, Chunk, whatever. Their mom comes home for a bit and like chides them. It doesn't really matter. But she's like, I just want to like, don't mess up my house. I want it clean when they tear down the house, you know?
What?
So they're supposed to stay in the house, not cause any trouble, and definitely not go on a pirate hunting, like a treasure hunting adventure.
When they're gonna tear it down.
Exactly.
What?
Listen, if you're gonna come over and you're gonna tear my house down, I want it clean.
I want to look good.
Yeah, I want to look good before they tear it down.
I want this town to be spotless when they destroy it.
Yeah.
What the hell?
They gotta appraise the house before they destroy it somehow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
The homeowners association's coming by one last time.
Also, side fact: a friend of mine who is just like Chunk, telling wild stories out of school. He always told me that this movie was filmed in a place called Kirkland Lake, which is about half an hour away from my original hometown in Northern Ontario. He would be like, yeah, they totally filmed there. Like, he would tell me this, and I was like, oh my god! So every time I watch a movie, I'm like, oh, I think I can recognize the place. I was like, nowhere is there like stacked houses on a hill, a big lake. Like, it's a really fucking interesting looking landscape this town is, and I'm like, yeah, that
looks familiar.
That's definitely Ontario.
It's definitely Northern Ontario, of course. Yeah.
That looks
right. Why did he lie to you?
I don't
know.
Maybe
what was
he
the
didn't
case for him to be
know.
like, yeah, this was filmed in your home. I would be like, it was filmed in my hometown.
Listen, when you're like in the 5th grade, that kind of control you have, it's like, Will believes me.
We're all manipulators. It's all.
Yeah,
it's true. This is
love
true.
Lying and shit.
How do you think we ended up on this podcast again? We'll talk us into it.
Do you know we haven't filmed a single episode of our podcast? We don't have a podcast. We just want to hang out with Will.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
you're just on
keep
ours
posting
now.
pictures of new episode up, and there's nothing to listen.
There's nothing there. Definitely not on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts every Tuesday at 3 p.m.
Okay, you shill.
You're
gonna let us promote us at the end here. All right.
You get that later.
So they're all hanging out. Chunk breaks the statue.
Yeah,
that's right.
Specifically, he breaks the penis of the statue.
Well, what's that statue called? Something
Michelangelo.
Penis boy.
That's right.
Yeah.
He has the mother has
David,
a miniature
Michelangelo's statue of David or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Michelangelo the Ninja Turtle has a statue with his penis out.
There's a statue of a Ninja Turtle with its dick out. Its little turtle dick out.
Man. And the kids break it.
It's her favorite statue.
I'm sorry. Anyway, they have
the dick has like a shell on top of it too. It's got everything. Yeah.
That got me.
So like his face
Can
palming.
you please call this episode Turtle Dick?
I should have garnished it with turtles and call it turtle dick. That's what it is. Yeah,
a little grated turtle shell.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's best when it's still alive. But they have this little statue, the Grecian statue with the penis, and it falls.
Yeah,
and it's very clearly made of plastic. And then but they're like, oh no, it's like marble.
Broke it.
And then penis falls off, and then so they have to hide it from the mother.
Yeah,
and that's like the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. I will say this movie is slow to start. I did sense that it was like slow to
pretty
start.
fast soon after though.
Soon as they
one line
I
got to point out is that, and it always confused me as like a teen kid. Sean Astin goes like, "Oh my god, this is my mom's favorite piece," as they're trying to put the dick back on.
That's right.
And it never occurred to me because I wasn't big on art when I was a teen. Was like a piece meant the whole statue. I thought she was this dick is specifically her favorite piece.
That's what I thought he was saying. I always thought. It really wasn't until this watch where I watched it when I watched this movie a couple hours ago that I was like, oh, she's talking about the whole statue.
As
not
a piece,
like her favorite part is the fact. I thought that this mom was like, what? Did you ever have those parents who were like kind of okay with nudity, and there was tasteful nude art around the house, and like you and your friends would walk by in the hallway and like snicker at it, and they'd be like, what? It's the human art. It's the human body form.
Definitely
it's a beautiful thing, and I'd be like, you're okay with titties out in your house?
Right.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna be that person.
I'm a freak.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought the mom was like a freak who liked dicks so much.
Well, you listen, you don't see Mike's dad till the end, but when you do, you're like, it makes sense that she loves little white dick.
Okay. Wait, what did you say? What did you say? I missed that. I just heard the end.
It's okay. It really wasn't
I'm
that
gonna
great.
listen to it later. I'm gonna hear it later.
Oh God.
So it is the first 15 minutes of the movie, and then mom does come back with this Spanish housekeeper who doesn't speak any English.
Mhm.
Hiring a housekeeper to clean the house when it's all going to be bulldozed. Oh no,
I know.
She
Yeah, it's
wants
very
it clean.
Oh, because her arm is broken, remember? So she can't clean.
She can't
needs
clean.
help.
But it's
She's
funny
two
because you're
perfectly
like, you're
capable
not,
sons, but they can't.
Yeah. There's not enough money
They
to
won't
save
do
your
it.
house, but there is enough money to hire a housekeeper to
Yeah.
clean your
That's
house
true.
before it's demolished. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, okay.
It's necessary.
Sure.
Necessary.
Whatever. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So-
I'm over it.
So Mouth is like, I used to speak Spanish. I will translate for her, and then proceeds to like say some horrible
Come
shit to
on.
her the whole time.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
You're going to trust a kid named Mouth to translate
I was about to
Spanish
say,
for you?
yeah,
And he
effectively?
Mouth,
does
you know how
speak
to speak
Spanish. He
Spanish?
knows what he's saying.
it's true. He does actually speak Spanish. He just tells her like horrible things.
Yeah.
Sounds awful.
Says something along the lines like, okay, Mouth, could you please tell her to like make sure she cleans under the table? And he's like, in Spanish, like, if you don't clean under the table, she's going to gouge your eyes out or something.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
it's
Yeah.
like, oh, cool. All
What's
right.
wrong with this
Yeah.
kid?
Yeah,
So like the
whatever.
housekeeper's terrified of them, but at one point they walk past the attic and she's like, my husband doesn't like anybody to go up in the attic. And Mouth is of course like, if you go up in the attic, they'll fucking kill you.
Oh, that's what it was. That's right.
Okay.
That's what it was. They'll fucking kill. Yeah, but no, now it's setting up this mysticism of the
That's
attic,
so
right? You're like,
chill.
Oh, yeah.
what's in the attic?
It's a
Yeah.
secret
You know?
attic.
Durr.
So she
Is
steps
it?
out to the supermarket with the housekeeper. She's like, boys, behave yourselves.
And boys are boys.
Brand's
So.
in charge. And they immediately charge right up to the attic.
Yeah. They're like, let's go to the attic and let's go search for things. And they find
Yeah.
a lot of weird fucking things. But that's because
Tell
I didn't
me.
realize this until later after rewatching all this, many years later, is that their dad is like a museum curator. He's like,
Yes.
he's a
Okay.
history dude. Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
you.
So he's got a bunch of like cool shit in
Which
the attic.
another like plot hole that I don't appreciate in this
Yeah,
movie
you don't
is
get
that
to
the
take
museum
home.
just like let this guy take museum
Yes.
artifacts home.
You're not
They
gonna
don't
take
have
this
the
shit.
room
That's how it
to
works.
hold
And he
it.
attempts to, like they
They
attempt to
don't
explain
have
it
the
away
room
because
to
like
hold it.
Yeah. And so the
Yeah.
museum curator's like, well, I like this one. So I'm going to take that. And then,
yeah.
Like you steal a pen when you leave your job. This guy steals artifacts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this guy stole like historical artifacts.
Yeah, like,
this
Like,
guy
it's-
steals
400
other
of
It will
people's
be
cultures.
safe there.
the way they
keeps them in his
attempted to like
attic.
explain it away was like these were like rejected artifacts that the museum decided that they weren't going to use, and I was like, but that's not. You send them. You talk to other museums, and then you like send them out there. You don't
I was
just
about
like,
to say.
oh, we're not going
They
to use this
didn't
like historical
want
like
them.
ship steering wheel from
Exactly.
like
No, but this
1637.
town is so small. The museum does not have storage. Just bring it home.
No
No
with you.
storage.
No storage. Yeah.
Well, I love the ethical nature of like, what are we gonna do with this old weird mask we found in the Congo? Little we know that it's like the most priceless artifact of this culture, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, just let Dave have it.
Dave can have it. Dave's
Yeah,
got the
I mean,
room.
We'll keep it safe.
He's got an attic. It's
Yeah.
fine.
See,
It's
besides that guy's
fine.
Anyone
house.
with an attic
Yeah.
gets
See
an
before they demolish
artifact. Oh, right.
They find so what they really find the crux the spark what's the inciting incident of the movie is they
There you go.
find an old treasure map that's supposed to lead to the treasure of like this pirate called One-Eyed Willie's treasure. That's what they're
Cute.
looking for.
Yeah.
Now I'm realizing that's just penis like that.
One-eyed Willie.
Is just
Oh my
penis.
god.
Is that?
That actually didn't even
I
occur to
don't-
me.
I'll show you a one-eyed Willie, babe.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
One-Eyed Willie's
like
treasure, and
it.
everyone's like, "Oh, shut up, Mike! Get out of here!"
Yeah.
It's even grosser when you think about the fact that his dad told him about One-Eyed Willie as like a bedtime story.
Oh my god!
You guys don't get to judge.
Holy shit! Good night, son. You want to see One-Eyed Willie one last time?
Oh God, no, no,
Fucked up.
that is fucked.
That didn't happen.
Just
But
bleep,
yeah.
just bleep that out.
Yeah, they find One-Eyed Willie's treasure map, and they decide that if they can find One-Eyed Willie's treasure, then they can save the Goonies from being demolished. So they set out on an adventure to find the treasure to save the town. But the thing is that like adults have tried to find One-Eyed Willie's treasure, like career treasure hunters have tried to find One-Eyed Willie's treasure and have not been able to do it, including the famed reclusive treasure hunter Chester Copperpot.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah.
yes,
Who,
Chester Copperpot.
Yes, who famously claimed that he had the key to One-Eyed Willie's treasure and went in looking for it and never emerged again, was never seen again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Yikes.
well, we're kids in a Steven Spielberg movie, so we're obviously better than adults. let's give it a shot.
Naturally.
Yeah, and Bran's
Always
like,
better.
no way, you're staying home. I'm in charge.
Yeah.
Okay, Mom put me in charge. You're staying home, and that's it.
Mm.
And they ensnare Brand in his own workout equipment and escape on their bicycles, and
Oh,
off
yeah.
they go to find the
Oh,
treasure.
and they let out the air in Brandon's brand new bike
Yeah.
tires, like his brand new bike.
New.
His brand new, exactly
new,
right.
Yes.
We have
Something I
fun.
actually liked about Brand's character is that he's sort of this like meathead jock type, but he's not like, he never bullies any of the kids. Like he like smacks his brother around a little bit, but it's like,
Because you got
that's
it.
not like in such a way where it's like malicious or anything.
There's like a really nice scene
You gotta
where
smack your
Mikey
younger
is
bro.
looking out at the neighborhood before it gets torn down, and he's like about to cry, and all the
Oh.
kids have like left him to go inside and play.
Mhm.
But Brand notices that he's gone and comes out and like gives his brother a big hug.
yeah, it's
and then,
really
like,
nice.
But like he hugs him, and
Like-
then he puts him in a headlock
like
and like
choke
drags
slams
him,
yeah, and
like drags him back into the house. But
drags
it's
his
like,
fucking ragdoll
Yeah.
corpse.
Yeah.
It is a weird moment.
but it's clearly
yeah.
play because
That's
boys can't be
brothers.
emotional for too long.
God forbid.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can't.
The brotherly
Yeah, but
love
they
in
have
this
that
is
kind of
nice.
relationship.
It's nice, you know.
Yeah,
it's
it's cute.
real.
I like the way
It's
they write
nice.
Brand actually, because
Yeah.
what I like about Brand is that he's like I was saying, he's sort of like this meathead character, but he's always down for the cause. You know, he's
Yeah.
always like, well, I mean, we're in this adventure now,
Yes.
so like,
Yeah, let's
Do
go
it.
along with it.
yeah.
So they map the they get Mouth to read the map because it's all in Spanish conveniently
Mm.
for him.
Nice.
And it takes them to this restaurant that is apparently only open in the summertime. So right now it looks really decrepit and like unkempt.
Okay.
And it's owned by the Fratellis,
Ooh,
Oh,
the
shit.
Fratellis.
the crime family from before.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
they Mikey goads everybody into going inside the whole time. Chunk is like, guys, I don't have a good feeling about this, guys. I
Yeah.
don't think this is a good idea. Come on, it's almost dinner time. I want to go home. I don't want to do this.
See, no, you have to
My
understand
mom's
though, like
making
what Sam just
meatloaf.
did is how that character talks.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
for like
Fine.
whole movie,
Yeah.
and does
Oh,
not
God.
stop.
Looking back, I
God.
probably know how to do that voice because I watched the Goonies so much as a kid.
Yeah,
Right.
Like it just like it got into my brain.
Chunk is like a part of
Chunk.
your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So yeah, Mikey goads them into going into the restaurant, and they're greeted by Mama Fratelli, whose name they call her Mama. I don't think she has like a
Yeah,
name.
Mommy Fratelli.
Mom.
Yeah,
Mama
Fratelli.
Fratelli.
Mommy.
Mommy.
M-A-M-I.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's-
mommy.
It literally is
Mammy.
Mama Fratelli. I don't even think she
Mammy
has a name in
Freddy.
this movie.
Yes. Yeah. So Mama Fratelli greets them at the door and is like, "What do you want?" And they're
Oh.
like, we
For you to
just
not be a
want some like
bitch?
water." And she like gets her like eldest son, the one they broke out of jail, to come upstairs and like get them some water. And he clearly gives them like rust in a cup. Like
Cute.
Yeah.
it looks like iced tea. It's so orange.
Yeah,
Cute.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
I kind of thought it looked good. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I was like, well, I would probably take a small sip.
Ew.
Looks like a good appealing color. It just looks like tea.
Yeah, but it's
Meanwhile, Brand does chase after them, though.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
He
right.
chases after them on like a girl's tricycle.
Yeah, he steals a little girl's bicycle, and she's like,
Yeah.
"I want my bike! I want my bike!" I love that part. She's like
Yeah.
stomps around.
Yeah. So they're sitting at the table, and Mikey's trying to figure out a way to find out how to get to the treasure from the restaurant. So he pretends to have to go to the bathroom,
Mm.
and she says, "It's downstairs and to the right, and stay to the right."
Yeah, it's, I gotta take a big
Okay.
dump.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm going to go to the left immediately.
Yeah.
I'm just
So,
gonna ruin your
um,
bathroom. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. Before that happens, there is a thing that is important with Brand, where Brand's on the bike and he runs into the other teenagers
Yeah.
on the in like
Crab
so the
girl.
real jock. What the hell was
What?
his name? With the
Troy.
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 Of course, it was Troy.
Yeah.
Troy in like a varsity jacket is driving in his convertible with a couple of hot babes.
Mhm. One of them is the girl that Brand has a crush on,
That's right, and her name is
Andy.
Andy,
Mm.
Yeah.
and with her friend Crab Girl.
Yeah, the
From the beginning.
dunking for crabs.
Yeah,
in the
I don't remember
beginning
her
of this
name.
movie.
Yeah.
Steph.
Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like this turned out to be far more important than I ever could have imagined. When you meet these characters, because they stick around. But there's this moment where like I don't actually remember. Okay, but do you remember why did Brand, for the both of you, why did Brand grab the steering wheel?
Brand didn't. Troy, like, so when Troy pulled up to Brand on the little tricycle, he was like, "Sick wheels,"
Yeah.
and decided to play a prank on him. So he grabbed his arm with his hand and
Yeah.
stuck it to the car
Right on
and
his
held
crotch, yeah.
his arm
And then
while
sped
he
up.
drove.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that he had to like follow the car on like a tricycle.
And he did rocket Brand off a cliff. Like that actually happened. Brand goes fucking flying.
Yeah.
I was like, that guy's dead for sure.
Yeah. He was going like 80 miles an hour on a bike.
On a tricycle.
Yeah.
But did he have a helmet?
Yeah.
Did he have a helmet on?
No.
Actually, I don't think he did.
No.
Yikes.
No helmet.
Well,
So, I mean, that's the real message of this podcast today, folks.
Wear a helmet.
Wear a helmet.
He's wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
Wear one.
But he eventually, limps his way over to the restaurant. But Mikey goes to the basement while Brand is catching up with them, and obviously does not stay to the right, and veers to the left, where he encounters the guy that they broke out of jail, the older Fratelli brother, singing Italian opera to what appears to be a monster.
Yeah. like an ogre.
It's like chained up, and he's like singing opera.
Mhm.
And as he hits the high notes, the monster gets really, really, really upset and tries to like break free from his chains and like screams. And Mikey gets freaked out and like runs upstairs.
Yeah, like I'm serious. Like it's like a real, like at this point in the film, like mutants are real. Like this is like a freaky giant towhead monster. It's like a towhead monster from Spy Kids.
Yeah,
like ripping. And it's like chained to the wall. It's like you sure. Honest to God, at this point, like, I knew who this character was. But honestly,
yeah.
Why?
But it's obviously the high notes are like bothering him. Like they're at like a frequency that he just like can't fucking stand, and he's like screaming in pain. He's like torturing this poor monster with his singing.
Why?
Because
he's
a
fucking criminal.
Because he's a sadistic Italian man.
Why do they have this guy? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
The monster's like living the experience of like the like hipster guy that I tried to date who like tried to get me into the Mountain Goats. You know what I mean? Like was like, oh man, you're gonna love like fucking the National.
Yeah, and then he chained you to the wall and started playing.
And just like wouldn't
music.
let me go until I got through all of like fucking Neutral Milk Hotel's latest album. So Mikey sees that, gets freaked out. He's like, guys, like there's something downstairs. Like we gotta stay here. We gotta figure it out. And then I think they convince him not to go. Yeah, they get him out of the restaurant. They leave and they kind of duck down. Or no, Mama Fratelli like scares them out.
Mommy.
She like yells at them because remember she like holds the door up. She leans up against the door after they leave and she goes, "Kids suck."
Yeah,
that's right.
Fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah. So she kicks them out because they're acting too suspicious and she wants them out of her hair. So they kind of like duck behind like a log and wait for them to leave, and they do leave at one point. But Chunk has discovered that the car that he saw in the car chase from the beginning of the movie is in the garage of the restaurant that they're in. He's like, holy shit, these are the criminals that I saw being chased by the police earlier today. Guys, this is bad. We gotta go. Like, it's not cute anymore. Like, we have to leave. And Mikey's like, no, we gotta find the treasure. We gotta save the Goonies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before, I'm actually really curious at this point. What do you think of this movie so far, Lenka? What's your general opinion of the movie so far?
Honestly, a little confused.
Yeah.
Like, how does this all come together?
Oh,
like,
it comes together.
Okay.
It comes together.
I'm ready.
It does.
I'm really curious
there's a lot
about
of
this
setup.
guy in the basement, chained up. I've got
Lot of
questions
mystery
about
of
the
Classic
opera.
Steven Spielberg. You don't see the monster for the first like 18th of the film.
Just Jaws.
Yeah.
Right. Fuck it. Can't wait.
But yeah, so they leave. Chunk is like, please guys, no. Smartly so. But Mikey's like, please guys, yes. And then they all follow Mikey into the basement, and they find this like cellar where there's like a secret grate that opens down into a tunnel. And he's like, it's the secret passage that leads to One-Eyed Willie's treasure, guys. We gotta go. We gotta
do it. We gotta fucking break and enter this place.
Yeah, and of course, Chunk is too fat to fit in the hole that leads to the sewer.
Obviously.
So Chunk
Gotta
can't
shame
go.
that fat kid. Yeah.
But you know what's really funny about that too? It's like when he does the truffle shuffle, it's like, yeah, he might be a little bit fatter than his friends, but it's not even like he's like
morbidly
like
obese.
fat. He's
Yeah.
not like a
Right.
huge
He's
friggin'
just
He
a
just
kid.
has like a
chunkier.
belly. He just has a belly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's got like a
basically.
little belly. I understand why
Yeah.
people have weight issues in the 80s, man. Oh my god.
He's honestly like triangle
Like, in
shaped.
general.
Unrealistic body
He's
standard.
got like skinnier legs as you go down,
Yeah.
but like he's got like a tummy. It's
Got a tummy.
It's really okay.
He's a freaking
Yeah.
child
Nothing wrong
with
with
a
a little
tummy. Weird.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Heaven forbid.
That's
That
literally
shouldn't
what it
fucking
is.
exist,
So
Olenka. It shouldn't
odd.
exist.
Stupid. They need 6 packs.
God.
This is why. This is why the fat kid is supposed to relate to the freak of nature in this movie.
They're
Oh my
both
God.
freaks. They're both
God.
fucking freaks.
We're a couple of
That's
black
what's-
sheep, you and me.
Good Lord, help us.
I'm fat.
Help us.
You're a mutant.
We're destined to be
same.
friends.
Exactly.
We're the same.
So that's a bit of a
Can't.
spoiler, but
Yeah.
Great.
But
Thanks, guys.
so they're like, Chunk, like, since you can't fit in the tunnel, go call the police and tell them the Fratellis are here
Yeah.
and go get help.
Okay.
So Chunk is like, okay.
I can
but,
get on board
um,
with that.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like that was
Yeah.
actually like when they said that, I was like, that's actually a pretty good plan.
It's a solid
Yeah.
plan.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So Chunk escapes through a window.
oh yeah,
But I
Oh,
think
that's right.
he escapes through a window, but he gets caught by the
Well,
Fratellis
yeah, because what
somehow.
happens is he goes back to the car. So like he runs to the road. Chunk is like, home free. Like he
right.
he gets out. And then he stops a car
On the highway.
on the highway and is like, please, I'm just a little boy. Like, take me to the police. Like, my friends are inside. The Fratellis are in there. And he goes, like, I know what they all look like. I heard their names. I can identify them. And the
He,
guy like
insults them. He's like, they're horrible, terrible people. They're the scum of the earth.
yeah.
We gotta
Thanks.
get them off the streets.
And then
Please, can you help me?
The driver of the car
Right.
turns the light on inside the car, and it's the guy that was broken out of jail.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh,
Discount
and
Ted
like,
Danson.
Yeah, he's-
Yeah. Not
Tony
Ted Danson.
Danza.
Italian Ted Danson.
Tony Danson.
Oh my God.
Tony himself.
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah.
Chunk gets grabbed by the other guy
Yeah.
Holy shit, that
who's
kid's
also in the
dead.
car.
That kid's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
man.
Funny
Did
enough, they
we
put him in the trunk with the
fucking-
corpse.
I don't think we
Dead.
mentioned this though. Did we? Wait, maybe you did. Like Brandon and the two girls catch up with them.
That's right. They did.
Yes.
That's right. Because Troy, so the two girls come to check on Brand, who
Yes.
was rocketed off a cliff but
Yes.
lived and is
'Cause
fine.
they're all like,
Yeah.
Troy,
And-
you're a dickhole.
Yeah, they're like, fuck you, Troy.
And it's like obvious that like
Fuck
Andy is so
you.
horny for Brand.
Oh yeah, Andy was
Okay.
like
Like I don't know why they even wrote that she was with Troy in the first place because she so clearly is hot for Brand
Yeah.
the
they,
whole time.
They take a lot of opportunity too.
I mean,
like,
who isn't
anytime
for
they can
J
get.
Bros? You know what I mean? J Bros.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Josh
Yeah.
Groban. Get it?
Yeah, Josh Groban.
I love that. Jay Broyles did.
It's my homie Jay Broyles.
But yeah, they join up with the kids, and then Mike explains everything, and now everyone's down for
Everyone's
the
in the
cause.
tunnels, yeah.
Everyone's like, let's go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they find a corpse inside of the building,
The freezer.
Come on.
Yeah,
The
in
freezer.
Come on.
which is I don't know why. Who is that guy?
Who's that
It's
guy?
never
explained.
Who
Just a
is that
dude?
guy?
Just a dude. He's
Just
not
a,
was
just,
that
a,
guy?
just a
Who's
victim of
that
the Fratellis.
guy? I don't know why that stood out so much to me.
The guy inside.
Oh,
Who's
that
that
guy?
Mm.
No,
but
yeah,
he's just
they're-
It's
they're
just like
corpse.
it's just proof that like the Fratellis can and will
Bad.
kill
They're
you.
brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're brutal.
Yeah.
Chunks
God.
is fucking dead.
So the
Yeah.
girls and Brand and the other three go through the gate, and yeah, Chunk is left in the Fratelli's restaurant because
That's right. So
Eat
okay,
too
I'm gonna
fast.
say, and then this will come back to me now from earlier today,
Mhm.
where Chunk gets dragged inside the house, like Will just said, and then what they do is that they actually lock him up with the freak of nature,
Mm.
Yeah.
who we've learned is called Sloth.
that's his name. Yeah,
Okay.
Sloth, and you've seen pictures of this
So
person.
weird.
Imagine
Actually,
like
the Family Guy version of him is pretty much a
Probably
scale
really
scale
exactly, yeah.
drawing.
Right,
It's
yeah.
like it's a Family Guy cartoonified version of Sloth.
legit. Like if
Yeah.
you can imagine like the cone
Got
heads
it.
from SNL
So
with like a
terrible.
little friggin' patch of hair. His
Yeah.
one eye is right here, and his
Wait,
other
the
eye's down
cone
on his
heads
cheek.
He
were
looks-
from
you know what he looks like?
SNL?
Sorry, what'd you say?
The Coneheads were from SNL. I thought
Yeah,
they had
they
a
were-
whole
I
movie.
thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
They
a
were an
Okay.
SNL skit that got turned into a movie. It was
just
like
like
one
a
of the
Night at
first
the
times they did
Roxbury
that.
and Superstar.
Was
and-
that? Shut
Yeah.
the fuck up. Neat.
Yeah, that was
SNL,
SNL
baby.
sketch. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pretty cool, right?
yeah.
Yeah, used to be some.
Welcome back to SNL Facts with Sam Pam and Olenka.
Hey, we could have a whole series
I was
where
about to say,
I get
you-
drunk and explain SNL history.
You
to
read a
people.
whole
That'd be
book on that.
fun.
You know,
Yeah.
if we keep talking about it, we'll be here for 45
We'll get
minutes.
too
So-
in depth in the book.
Legitimately.
Snow.
And, okay, so we learned that Sloth is a thing. and
Yeah.
Sloth is just the.
You know what it is? Here's I have
Yeah,
a
do you
joke.
want to get
Tell
it
me
out of
what
your
it
system?
I have a
is.
joke.
Okay, all right.
Sloth looks like if someone put a troll doll in a microwave
Yes, that's,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a
and it
fair,
melted.
fair
It
comparison.
melted,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then took the head
Yeah.
off and put it on a bodybuilder's body.
Yeah.
And he's just this
Oh,
massive
okay.
specimen.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
he's
Sloth is
he is-
Interesting.
the guy who played him is a ball
So
player or
weird.
was.
Yeah.
He passed away, unfortunately. But
So
Yeah, unfortunately died of
weird.
like drug complications, I think, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken,
no.
which is
sad.
a bit of a
no.
bummer. But like, yeah, so Sloth is real.
Yeah.
And Sloth is just like the third Fratelli brother. Like
Yeah.
he's not even a monster or like a mutant.
Okay.
He is
Sloth.
just disabled.
Okay. Okay.
Well, you didn't
He
have
is
to
just
fuck that.
disabled.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like very much very 80s where it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, I think if
So they
Sloth
have
was to
him
be made today,
chained.
there'd be like,
They have him
Yeah,
yeah, he's been
chained
chained
up.
up in the basement.
Yeah.
Is he
Like,
like,
it's like they
lethal?
are scared of
Yeah,
this guy.
it's like
This
it's
big
like they're
oaf.
fucking they're like Spartans or some shit in 300. They just like
Right.
toss away
Yeah.
their
The Fratellis are all Spartans.
babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could
Yeah.
be.
So Sloth is mentally disabled and deformed. So they locked him up in the basement and just
Mhm.
like
Classic.
feed him slop on a plate every day to like keep him alive and like stick him in front of a TV.
Mm.
So they
Fuck,
locked
that
Chunk up
sucks.
with Sloth
What
to
the
just sort of
fuck?
like be like, you know, deal with him.
Yeah.
The fuck?
And Sloth is upset because Sloth is hungry.
Oh.
And Chunk just so happens to have a Baby Ruth
Oh,
chocolate bar in his
Chunk.
pocket.
He does.
And he offers it to him, and Sloth accepts it, and they feed each other like Sloth breaks
Getting
the bar in
weird.
half
Get
and
a
like
little
gives
odd.
half to Chunk and then keeps half of it, and they feed the
Yeah.
half
It's a
their
little
respective
weird.
halves of the bar to each other.
That's
Sloth like
odd.
takes a piece of chocolate and like rubs it
Yeah.
on Chunk's lips and like
Yeah.
slowly
That's a little
feeds it
weird.
inside of him, you know?
Get a little odd.
Oh,
It's very
Yeah.
sensual,
there's,
yeah.
there's a great
It would
scene
be.
actually. I remember that, and Game of Thrones stole this scene, I think, apparently, but it's when they like are interrogating like Chunk, the
Oh, yeah.
Fratellis, and they're like, tell us everything you know, and he just like confesses every bad thing he's ever done. Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
From
I
like
forgot about
third
that.
grade up
I
until
forgot
now.
about that. Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's one of my favorite parts
So
of the movie
cute.
I
because
farted
he's
in
like,
someone's face and I blamed it on the dog.
yeah. And then he goes, but the
my
worst thing I ever
God.
done was I mixed up some fake vomit and I went to the movie theater and I went like this.
He does it like 3 times, yeah.
And I dumped the fake vomit on the people below the balcony, and everyone got sick and started throwing up all over each other. And that was the worst. And the whole time the Fratellis are looking at each other like, the fuck are you talking about?
What the
Right.
hell is wrong with this kid?
Yeah.
Oh
This
my
kid's fucked up.
god.
It's
Well,
so
he's a
funny.
fucking kid. Really, what did they expect?
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean-
You ensnared a child in your like
Yeah.
bank robbing ways.
Well, you know they're maniacs because they turn on the blender and then throw a tomato in to like demonstrate what they're gonna do. And like, who throws stuff in a blender when it's on? You're a psychopath.
Psychos. Yeah, that's fair.
It's just
Insane.
dangerous.
Right? I was like, these
Just
people are ready to hurt
stupid,
people.
Messy.
Yeah.
yeah.
If that movie couldn't be created now because the lid needs to be on for that shit to turn on nowadays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It won't even turn on.
It won't even turn on. You just
Yeah,
have to have the
they're
lid
too
on.
high. Blenders are so high powered now.
Yeah.
You can't do that shit.
Turn his hand into soup.
Yeah.
Spoop.
But yeah, so Chunk is now locked up with Sloth, but he and Sloth have become friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Because he's
figure
just
it out.
hungry, just like Chunk. He's just a hungry
Exactly,
boy.
exactly.
They
Yeah.
really see eye to eye.
That's how they
Well,
fall in
almost.
love. They're both hungry. I think he actually says that. He's like, "You're just hungry,
You're
just
just
like me."
hungry.
I think you're right. I think it actually is
So
a line in the
weird.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very weird. But then we cut back to the A squad,
yeah.
and what are they doing?
They are in the tunnels. They're like walking through.
Yeah, there's a couple of
And-
random scenes. Like one time, like they're trying to like yell for help, and they're fucking like shaking like these like water pipes and stuff, and it's actually the pipes at this like tennis club, country club of the rich people, and they keep
Yeah.
fucking like knocking
Yeah.
people out with the shower
Yeah.
heads. It's in like
So
the
silly.
men's like
That's right.
change
Yeah.
room, and Troy is like. He gets like blasted off the toilet at one point,
What
and
the
he's just
fuck?
like, "Mommy!" Doesn't he say that? Oh, I forget.
I
thought
don't
he
think
says
it was
something like
Troy, but it was somebody at the country club is like sitting on the toilet and gets
Oh,
like
okay.
blasted up to the high
What
heavens.
the hell?
I thought
And he
it
just
was
screams,
Troy.
"Daddy!"
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Troy.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Troy. Who is it? That's
It must be Troy then, because
that's because he just like fucked with Brand, and I think Brand was the one to do that. Not that he knew that was
Yeah.
happening,
Right.
but
The universe made that happen.
Yeah, the poor kids keep fucking with the rich kids. What is this?
That's what this movie's
As
really
they
about.
should. As they should.
Oh,
So
God.
the kids are down below in the tunnels, and Will's right. They come across some pipes, and they figure if they can rattle the pipes and fuck with the plumbing enough, someone will bother to come down below and find them and save them.
Yeah.
Makes
But that
sense.
doesn't work.
It's actually
They just make
oh.
a bunch of people's lives hell
Yeah.
with water. So they carry on, and they come across. Oh, they come across Chester Copperpot.
Yeah, they find a dead
Yes.
body.
They find a
Oh.
skeleton.
Yeah,
They
skeleton.
found the corpse of Chester Copperpot
Yeah.
crushed
It's
beneath
not
a
a
rock.
real name.
No, it's not.
That's the guy.
It's a movie. None of it's real.
I mean, listen,
But
if you're
that's-
gonna,
how do
there
they
is
know
no
that's his
brand. I hate
name?
to tell you.
How do they know
That's-
that's his name?
Because he's like a famous dude. He's like a famous treasure hunter in this area of Boondocks,
Come
I guess. I
on.
don't know. Again,
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably a character from the beloved 70s Goonie TV show that we keep talking about.
Yes.
We're supposed
Just
to
keep
know.
bringing it back.
Yeah.
Keep bringing it
yeah,
back.
Okay.
Chester Copperpot was like a character that showed up like every season for one episode.
Yeah.
You know, it's a Copperpot episode.
Yeah.
I'm Chester Copperpot. Cobblepot? I'm a copper. I don't know. They don't pay me enough for this show. Okay.
Yeah, but
Actually,
everyone knows
just
that if
a
you're going to be
raging
a
alcoholic.
treasure hunter, you can't use your real name. You know?
Yeah,
Exactly. You got to have a pseudonym.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Fair.
so they find Chester Copperpot's skeleton, and on his skeleton is a skeleton. No, it's like a little
another skeleton.
it's like a little key with like the shape of a skeleton head on it at the very top.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is the key that like Chester Copperpot claimed was the key to One-Eyed Willie's treasure. So they take it, but as Mikey is taking it, he finds like a wire on the ground and lifts it up, and it unleashes a booby trap.
Which is funny because if you left it alone, nothing would have happened.
Yeah, they would have been completely fine.
Yeah.
But he was
Interesting
like,
booby
"What's this?"
trap.
and like yanks it like a dumbass. Even though One-Eyed Willie is known for setting booby traps.
You're right. I mean,
yeah.
You're like, "What's this wire on the ground?"
so unprepared for this
Idiot.
adventure, Michael.
Get
They
it
don't know.
together.
They don't know Doom. So,
So,
there's booby traps, and I think at a certain point the Fratellis do realize Chunk
Chunk
tells them about the
squeals.
treasure.
Chunks.
Yeah, Chunk tells them about
Chunk
the treasure.
sings like a
You would
bird.
You know what
Yeah.
happened is because
Squeals.
they get to the point in the cave where they move the rock and all the bats come flying
Oh
out.
yeah.
No. Remember,
Uh-huh.
Mikey takes the key from Chester Copperpot and like turns it, and it locks on his arm.
No, that happens way later.
That happens
and then, like, the
later.
rocks
That happens
drop.
way later.
Something happens. To
scary.
make, oh no, he pulls the wire and it makes the rocks fall.
Yeah.
They like drop one by
Chunks.
one, like Indiana
And then they're
Jones
trapped
style.
beneath the thing, and then Brand moves the rock. And remember like Steph or whatever was like, God put that rock there and told
For
you
a
not
reason.
to move it, you know, and
Yeah.
it's like a very weird off-color thing to say.
Yeah,
You know, you don't remember that? And then the bats come
I do.
flying
I do
out?
remember it,
Yeah.
but I don't. I think
The
there's something
order
that
of
happens before that,
traps
but I'm not going
is
to
confusing to me. All I do remember, though, I remember this scene, and this is kind of the next scene, is they get to like this waterfall. It's a very beautiful like waterfall area, cave.
Fuck.
And there's like coins all over the place, and they're like, "This is the treasure." They realize
Yeah.
it's actually a wishing well, the old Green Park wishing well or whatever. Like again, something we're supposed to know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we've all been
Yeah.
here. We've been.
Yeah.
How many episodes took place at
yes,
this wishing
I've
well?
been to
Yeah.
Astoria, Oregon. I
And-
remember this.
And then they're like, "No, we should leave these guys. These are people's wishes." And they have this moment where
Cute.
they're like, you know, and they're
Can't
like,
take
"Oh,
the
like they yell
wishes.
up, and Troy is there. Troy and his
Okay.
buddies are there, and
Hanging
they're-
out on top of the well.
And they're like, "You
What
have
the
to
hell
help
is that?
us. Like, you have to get us up." I'm like, "Oh, okay, we'll help you." And then Jennifer is Andy. Why did I say Jennifer? No, I was thinking Back to the Future, Jennifer. No, Andy is like, "Help us, Troy." And she's like, "Okay," and they're just like fucking with them.
He's like, "I'll get you out of this well if you fuck me."
But then Mikey is like, he's like, "I wish for a BJ,
Scandalous.
bitch." That's what he says. Yeah.
Just a fistful of coins.
But
I wish
Mikey,
that Andy would slob on my knob. And just like throws a coin down the well.
Oh my
oh
god.
god.
Actually, I think my favorite part of that scene is Mouth being like they're all like, no, leave the coins, they're people's wishes. And Mouth is like, well, I threw a coin in here and my wish didn't come true.
And it's so dramatic the way he does it. He's like, see this coin? This was my wish and it didn't come true. He's like super dramatic. I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
And it never gets called back to.
Not even a little bit. And I'm taking it back. And then he literally like dives underwater. He just like sinks into the water and goes swimming for more coins.
Yeah, exactly.
Really dramatic.
It's like like you think at some point it come back, like what was the wish? It was just like, no, it's total one-off moment. It's never gonna come back.
Didn't come true, baby.
So Troy and his crew are like, okay, we're gonna help you. They're gonna lower the bucket, but then Mikey is just like, no, guys, like what? We're gonna go up there and then what? Our homes are gonna be destroyed. And then I just love this speech because he's like, up there, it's their time. Down here, it's our time. Our time down here. He says,
it's down here.
They do that
where it's our time.
Yeah.
Our time below.
Down here,
underneath, where it's our time.
Yeah.
You see, our time under here.
It's like he's just extending his essay. He's like, I need to just make this a little bit longer.
He had a word limit. Yeah, exactly. He had to get above the word
I gotta
count.
see that scene.
It's
on
great.
Family Guy.
I can already tell that I'm not selling you on this movie like I did with Little Miss Sunshine, but I just watch it for that scene.
Yeah.
It is like peak
Already got in the queue,
bad
baby.
child acting.
Because it's really funny because like, and I enjoyed this movie, but I have to admit like the dialogue writing is not a strong point.
No,
like it's definitely like there's a lot of like meandering, a lot of just like repeating yourself.
Yeah,
that's what kids do though. Maybe it's the
this is true. This is true.
But the reason why he tells them to stop is because he realizes, like, he's like, Chester Copperpot was like a pro treasure hunter and he's dead here. We made it farther than Chester Copperpot did.
Yeah.
We got past the first booby trap. Also, who reset up the booby trap?
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah,
Chester
Copperpot died because of the booby trap, and what? Some weird fucking pirate guy was like, "Whoa, I better send this one back up."
Yeah.
Some pirate ghost. Yeah,
this next one's really gonna get him, and he's just pulling on ropes.
Yeah, totally.
Well, that's actually begs the whole.
Data set it up again.
I mean, like, actually, maybe I'll bring it up when we get there. But I have a point about that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, remind me when we get to the part with the thing.
Sure.
Remind me. Okay.
So Mikey's like, our time down here. It's their time up there, but our time is down here. Our time down here. Down here is our time.
Did you ever have a dream when it was your time, our time down here, your time?
But it's very inspirational, you know. It could be part of one of those like the best inspirational speeches of the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's up there with the Independence Day
I have
speech.
A dream, and then like Mikey and the Goonies, like immediately below it, they're
exactly.
like touching. Yeah. So they all agree to continue forward. Andy wraps her Letterman's jacket with Troy's name on it around the bucket and sends it back up, and he's like, "So no head." Fuck, and fucking like breaks his skateboard or whatever.
The best line in the movie. He goes, "Andy, you Goonie."
He does say that. Yeah. He calls her a Goonie.
It's like the cheesiest thing. It's
which
so
I
funny.
guess is probably what is like a slur for those poor Goonies. So,
it's like not a cool thing to be a Goonie and like live out in the Goonies.
They took it back. Yeah.
Called her a gooner.
Yeah.
It's like
she's a gooner
with the hard R, Troy. Jesus.
Oh my God. They call them goonas if you're from there.
Oh my God.
That's fucked.
But yeah, so they continue forward, and then I don't 100% remember the next. It's not. It wasn't the piano that they come across next, was it?
Well, at some point, the Fratellis start chasing after them. The Fratellis go through.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they find out that they found Chester Copperpot, and like the kids are like 2 steps ahead of them, so they go to catch up.
And
with
they
them.
catch up with them, because the Fratellis end up in the dungeon, I guess is really what it is.
Yeah,
and like Dada left them some booby traps, which is just like little smoke bombs or some shit, like
that's right.
sparklers. That
my favorite part is that they find sticks of dynamite, and they're just like, oh, candles.
Yeah,
it's candles.
Give this to my mom.
Yeah. I think
are these soy wax? These are soy wax, right? Yeah.
Is this the one with the rings in it?
Are these pure beeswax?
But I'm trying to rack my brain what happened.
I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself if I say the piano was next.
No, the next part is the part you were talking about with the key. And then it gets arms trapped, and then the ball rolls down.
Yeah, that's the next part, I'm pretty sure.
That was the next part?
That was the next part.
Okay. So they have Chester Copperpot's key.
Copperfield? David Copperfield's key.
And Mikey, like, there's like some clue on the map. It's like 3 stones, like insert it and like turn it a certain way. So he like
3
finds
stones, insert it,
Yeah.
and turn it. Oh, sorry. It was good. It was a good
I
rhyme.
know,
It was
it
a good
did
hot
sound
lyric
like-
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like barred it just there.
Thank you,
That was like
thank
90s,
you.
early 2000s rap.
I have a natural affinity for freestyling.
Oh,
That song's
Okay, so-
about sex. Yeah.
I'm like secretly like leading a map to the clitoris inside of all of my rhymes.
3 holes, find it. Turn it.
Okay.
So Mikey inserts the key and then like turns it, and his arm gets trapped inside of the contraption.
I thought I was gonna get sliced clean off. Honest to God.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
here's the pin drop moment of this movie.
Yeah. And well, you explain this next part because you remember it better than I do.
I guess so. Okay,
I'm gonna drink more because
My-
I even halfway through my hey you guys.
Mikey gets his fucking arm cut off. Not really.
No.
And he gets it trapped in the wall. And a bowling ball starts like rolling down the chamber. But I don't remember what's going to happen when the bowling
Indiana
ball hits
Jones
the ground.
style. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, it like what happens? I don't know exactly what happens, but like there's a hole in the ground, and like Data like fucking like slings down with it. He's
That's
got like
right.
He falls into the
he's
pit
got like
spikes.
he's got like a slinky attached to some fucking false teeth that can hold on to things.
That's right,
like his
yes.
own little
Yeah.
like fucking bungee thing that he has.
Yeah, like grappling hooks.
Yeah.
With his like little friggin' like toy teeth.
Yeah.
And it saves himself from getting impaled.
Yeah, the bowling
Okay.
ball opens a trap door and Data's standing right on top of it and he almost falls into a pit of spikes.
Oh,
But
yeah.
his like invention saves him.
And
Saves
Dad
his
falls a
life.
lot
Damn.
in this movie.
oh yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
He falls the most out of any case, just falling through
But he's
shit
always saved by
constantly.
his inventions and it always leads them to the next part that they
Yeah.
have to get
So
to.
Yeah.
he's the
Data
true
really
MVP.
pushes
He's
this
the true
adventure
MVP.
forward.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny about the Goonies,
Like
actually?
I know he's a horrible Asian stereotype, but like he really is like the motion in this
Yeah.
group.
I mean,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
maybe,
Saves their ass a lot.
maybe I'm crazy, but I didn't find him to be too egregious.
He's no long duck dong, that's for sure.
Yeah, you
No,
know, he's
Long
no
Duck
Cho
Dong.
Chang.
We're
Yeah.
not. We're gonna get to Long Duck Dong soon.
What
we have
are
that
you even
scheduled. That
saying
episode.
right
Oh,
now?
cool. You've got that one scheduled?
Nice,
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
great.
That one I'm excited for. Because that
fuck are
long
you
duck dong
talking
Asian
about?
yogurt.
We'll
Long
talk about
duck
it later.
dong?
You'll figure it out.
It's just
What
a
are
big
you
fucking
saying?
goose dick. That's all
Like,
it
Yeah.
is.
I'm so
Long duck
confused.
dog.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. No, I'll save that for that week's
we
guest.
might as well be speaking gibberish at this point.
I
but-
literally
Yeah.
think you
Oh
are.
my god.
So,
But yeah,
so he
so
gets
Data-
saved. So they all climb down to like because Dada's like this is a whole other room. Like this is the
Yes.
next portion. So they all climb down and avoid the spikes somehow. I don't know, but I guess they're rock climbers now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They figure it out.
But there is a
You
great
learn
scene
that shit in
where
the
so
Goonies, baby.
Chunk and Sloth escape.
Chunk.
Sloth like breaks his fucking chains. I guess it was that easy for him the whole time. I guess he
Right.
hasn't been doing that.
He just needed the power of friendship.
Well, Mama
Yeah.
Fratelli mentions earlier that he better not break this set of chains because she's not going back to the zoo to get another one. I was like, this is so fucked.
It's so
It's
terrible.
fucked up.
These
so
people
fucked
are
up.
garbage. Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst.
And they escape. Like Sloth unties Chunk, and then Chunk gets to
Chunk.
the phone in there and phones 911. But the police are very well aware of Chunk and his outlandish stories, so they're not helping.
No.
That's right. They're also privy to his bullshit. My
Yeah.
favorite part about that whole thing, about the idea of like Chunk lies a lot, is that he never actually lies throughout the entire movie.
Yes.
No,
He only
and
ever
this
tells the
is
truth.
True, yeah.
And everyone is like,
Ah.
"Fuck you, Chunk! Shut the fuck up!" Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go have another hamburger.
All bullies laugh with their tongues sticking out.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
All police officers in this movie do that. It's a very bold, creative choice.
100%.
Yeah, whatever, Chunk.
Yeah, like the acting direction was like, I really like what you're doing, but do you think you could just add a laugh with a tongue stick out at the very end? Really kind of tie it all
We're going to do the
together.
same take again, but stick your tongue out when you laugh this time. Okay, Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay, Steven.
Every
Thank
time,
you.
you read a period, I want you to laugh tongue. Okay, just every time. But the movie. So in the movie,
Oh,
I'm
and
trying to
then
think.
so after that, the Sloth and Chunk do start going in the tunnel because somehow he fits in it now. I don't know why. I don't like Chunk
I don't
gets
remember-
in
I don't
there.
remember.
Yeah,
How?
Sloth like squeezes Chunk in through the tunnel
Is
somehow.
that right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he,
because
like-
now
he,
they're
like,
the
shoves
third in
them in.
pursuit now. It's the Fratellis in pursuit of the kids, and now they're in the tunnels too. They're gonna go save them. But I love it because like Sloth is like going down the tunnel. He's like, he's like going down the tunnel. And Chunk is like, Sloth, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's freaking.
He's
It's
so,
so good.
happy.
He's making the most noise.
Yeah.
so jazzed.
But
Yeah.
then the next part is the piano, right? I believe.
Just before this, another important scene I remember
Okay.
is they're like, I don't know, like after they get to there's like they're under the waterfall still, and they're in these dark caves, and like Andy is just wanting that Josh Brolin dick so hard.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
they stopped for a bathroom
Josh.
break.
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
took a
Because
bathroom
Andy,
break.
okay, Andy and Jay Broyles
You
have been
lift
like
me
trying to fuck
up.
this whole time.
Oh, truly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It starts
every
at the
time
restaurant.
they're
They like fall through the floor or some shit, and they land on each other, and it's like,
Classic.
yeah, we're gonna bang right now.
yeah, it's
Cool.
happening
gonna do it.
right now.
Cute.
Yeah, yeah.
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 And so
But then-
Andy's like, Brand, can you come help me? And then Brand, being who he is just like, Mikey, can you go help her check her,
Hey, go see what
check
the
on
fuck
her?
she
he says something
wants.
like, yeah, can you figure out what she's gabbing about? I thought you loved this girl.
Yeah, this is your crush, and now you're like, it's been like 2 hours. I'm done now. I don't.
Yeah,
this is not
yeah.
gonna work.
Over
This
it.
relationship.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
over
just,
it.
I just love that. It's like, oh, tell her to get off my
Yeah,
back.
it's like as soon as he said that, I was like, I feel like you guys have been married for like 15 years, have two
Yeah.
kids, and like you're the sole breadwinner, and she's constantly nagging at you to take her
Yeah.
out on a single date
Yeah.
night to the local pizza shop,
Yeah, yeah.
and he just won't do it.
Earlier today, Brand was like, this is the girl of my dreams. And now
Yeah.
he's like, Brand, come here. And he's like, oh.
Yeah. He's had enough.
Oh,
He's over
And
it.
so they're in this little dark cave, just silhouettes, and Mikey goes to see what's wrong, and Andy like grabs him and like starts making out with Mikey, thinking that it's Brand.
Excuse me.
Because
And
you
then,
know,
like-
I would mistake it. I would mistake
And
the
then her,
height
it's
difference.
funny. It's funny because her friend Steph, because like she told Steph that she was gonna like trick Brand into coming over and kissing her. So she's like, oh, whatever, you're so
Uh-oh.
lame. So Steph comes back to check on them to see if like Andy's plan worked, and she sees her making out with Mikey, and she's like, but like doesn't stop it.
Oh,
Yeah.
At
God.
all.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
like
Like, that's jokes.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah.
I wonder
yeah,
if
so
they're
I think-
18. This could be a minor.
Yeah. Another part of the
Oh,
movie that did
God.
not age well is like, oh,
I mean, no, I think they're
she
supposed to be
kissed a
like 16 or
12-year-old.
17 if
No,
he
but
just failed his
yeah,
driver's
I don't know
license.
That's true.
If Brand is like, I don't think Brand is like 21.
That's true. They are in high school, so
Yeah.
she's like under 18
Can you
still.
imagine Brand's
Right.
a grown man?
Yeah.
Could
The other
be.
weird thing is that there's this weird sexual tension between Steph, Andy's friend, and Mouth.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, they have this weird like relationship type thing, and you're like, why? What? You
Yeah.
gotta
Very
forget
odd.
the ages. You're like, okay, are they supposed to be 10 and like 16, or more like 13 and 15? You know, it's
Yeah.
kind
It's
of weird.
very
Right.
blurry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because
Lots
I
of
always
shorts.
thought that the Goonies were like the guys. I didn't realize that like Andy
Andy.
and her friend were like also a part of the Goonies.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess
I didn't know
because
that.
they're because you didn't watch the beloved 70s television show, The Goonies, the Goondocks for short.
That's right.
Okay.
So they but yeah, I think they're just like, if you just live in that area, they're all Goonies. Like there's probably like 15 other kids who don't get the spotlight, but these kids always get the spotlight, but they're also
Yeah.
Goonies, but they're
Well, I
just
think,
there
like,
waiting for their
I think-
houses to be torn down.
I think the story is that Andy is also a rich girl like Troy. That's why they're together.
Mm.
But
Oh.
Andy is sort of like, you know, like the Juliet to Brand's Romeo, where they're like star-crossed lovers from like different sides of the tracks. Yeah.
Right.
She's an
But
honorary
she like
Goonie,
doesn't
yeah.
care that he's from the Goonies or that he is a Goonie.
Right,
She
right,
just
right.
really, really likes him.
I love him, Daddy.
She's
even
kinda
if he is
like-
a Goonie.
She's
Yeah.
kind of like a Rachel Dolezal Goonie, you know, Goonie.
Yeah.
No, I don't get it.
She identifies as a
get
Goonie.
Yeah.
Trans Goonie.
Don't get it.
Goonie, that's problematic.
I'm sorry. I feel free to bleep that out.
But yeah, what the fuck are we talking? So yeah,
Talk
so
about the
Andy
Goonies.
makes out with Mikey, and then they continue on their journey. And I think this is when they come across the piano. My apologies to all you goon heads out there if I'm wrong, if
All
I
you
missed
goon
it, if I
heads?
missed a booby trap. Oh,
Well,
I'm sorry,
no, they don't come. No, they
I'm
don't
sorry.
come. they don't come across.
Guys, what you don't
the
understand
piano
is
yet.
that I
Oh,
have
wait.
difficulty breathing and I have to force myself to yawn to breathe on
that
occasion.
right? Is that right?
It's called anxiety.
Okay, cool.
Like it's just
Yeah.
like,
Are you allergic?
Yeah.
Are you allergic to condoms too? You can't use condoms either.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to mean?
It's just like
I
weird
don't know.
excuses that people make that I'm supposed to like believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Sam. I was at the
yeah,
hospital
so,
last
like-
night, you cunt.
Oh, I'm sorry. God, this is like the second time this month I've like put my foot in it.
Yeah, you're fucking hammered, buddy.
Yeah, dude, I'm fucking there.
You're a drunken high bastard right now.
So yeah, I think this is when they discover the piano.
Well,
and,
yeah, soon, but no, but the Fratellis
Maybe
catch
not.
up with them, so they're like escaping from the Fratellis because the piano scene's very tense. So because the Fratellis get there and they walk across this log, and if they're like cross this fucking log over like a
River?
raging river of
with like
Classic.
mammoth bones
yeah,
inside
like
of
an
it.
elephant graveyard, like Lion King elephant graveyard here. I don't know why.
Midwestern American
Obviously.
town.
Yeah.
That's where they lived.
Everyone knows that's where mammoths come from.
Yeah.
That's where they came
And then,
Midwest.
as they're walking across the log, Dada's the last one, and he's got fucking oil slick shoes. He's got wheelies and oil slick shoes.
That's
He's
right.
Yeah.
badass.
Oh,
Because
This
like
dude just like
Batman
does
utility
not
belt.
walk.
Oh yeah.
No.
He does not walk.
No,
He
no. Well,
slicks
he's like,
the
I
log.
gotta slow him down, and then like, his like heels open up, and it's just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
very
What?
gross.
Big
It's
oil cum shots
disgusting.
on that log.
Stop.
Throw
Wait,
back
like it
shots on
shoots
the
it
way over.
forward or
Like
I'm
backwards.
confused.
Oh,
It's
no,
the
it shoots out of his
backwards,
ankle,
Out of
so
the
it's like,
back
so
of
he's like
his feet.
leaving like an oil slick behind him,
so that
Yeah.
they
Mario
slip?
Kart or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we
Like, can I
always
check in with you really quickly to see if you feel like this is coming together at all?
yeah. Where are
since
you
we
at?
last
Like,
asked?
Yeah, I mean it's just absurd. It's just completely absurd. Like it's getting together. It's just super fucking odd. Like the Fratellis are just bizarre.
yeah.
oh my god.
Oh man, shout out
They're
to the
after
Hey You
some
guys. This is
treasure.
fucking-
It's treasure, okay? It's treasure time.
I get
So,
it. Yeah,
okay, so
it's treasure time
Now
down
the
here.
Fratellis are hot on their trail, but they've been slowed down by the oil slick, so they find.
Yeah, because we need nut shots. There's like they fucking slip and bang their nuts on the log. The two
That's right.
brothers.
Yeah.
That's right. They had to
Which
get a couple
always-
of nut shots in.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you know, otherwise, where's the funny's gonna come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
Yep.
they approach this giant skeleton piano. The keys are fucking bones.
Okay.
So yes, I didn't
What?
think about that for a second.
That sounded like an epic song where it's like a ballad, like they come across a skeleton piano, the keys are
Yeah.
bones.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like
Anyway,
Ryan
so they literally
Gosling's
come across a
band.
piano that is made of bones, and they
What the
discover on the back
fuck?
of the map. Originally, there's actually music notes along the top,
Mm.
which is like a song they'd have to play, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Interesting.
Anne, who now is
Andy.
Andy.
pivotal.
Andy.
Andy is now the most important character in the movie because
Mhm.
she's the only one who knows how to play the piano.
Mhm.
Right.
So she gets in front of the piano. She's like, I haven't done this since the 4th grade. And everyone's
She's a real
just like,
time piano player.
Yeah.
exactly. It's like, do it, do it. And so like, she presses the right finger the first time, and like next to them, like a door opens up just a little bit. But then she presses the wrong key, and the floor falls away. Like
Ooh.
imagine like a circle.
Yeah.
Like 1/4 of the floor like falls away, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!" So
Yeah.
they realize that if they play the wrong note, they're all going to
fucked.
die.
Yep.
Again, if
Yeah.
they failed, who's gonna put those
Exactly.
Yeah.
that floor
Who puts
back
the
up
floor
there?
back?
Yeah.
Then again, we
For
are at the
booby
point
trap.
now where like no one has gotten this
No one's
far
made it.
to
No
one
one's
Willie's
made it this
treasure.
far.
Yeah.
No one's
Right,
ever gotten
right.
this far before.
But
So like,
clearly, someone put the first booby trap back together. So someone's gonna.
Yeah.
I gotta pick
Gross.
up all these damn rocks. You know how hard
Yeah.
it is to balance all this shit on the piano keys.
Yeah.
Ugh, all right.
Any idea how much fucking effort this took?
you know, this is my third job.
Anywho, the Fratellis Data runs back and like checks on the Fratellis, who are now like getting a little closer, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" and like
They're here.
yeah, they're like
They're right
yeah.
here.
on them now, and they're like
Oh,
just
good.
and like Andy fucks up a few more times, and like the floor is like just about completely falling away, and like the door is like almost down as well. They're like, "Oh my god,
She
Andy!"
needs one more note.
And is it
before the
Mikey?
doors
Come
open.
on.
What's that line that Mikey says where he's just like it's okay to mess up, but don't anymore. It's like-
Classic.
it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's
what.
like, okay, thanks, Mike.
What all
Great
parents want to
speech.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your
It's a
time down
wordsmith.
here on this piano, playing this piano. Play the notes on the piano. It's your time with the piano.
Get
Yeah.
it right.
Down
On this
here,
piano
not
is
up
your
there.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So she presses the final key, and it's the right key. So the
Thank
walkway comes all the way down, and they all escape. And there's no floor of which the Fratellis can walk on to chase them at this point.
Mhm.
So they're like, ah,
And then
Goonies!
they slide down a Universal Studios fucking water
Exactly.
slide.
Yeah.
They're
They
all
go
like
down a
having
sick
fun.
water
like-
slide.
Yes, stop.
It was really-
Although one of them gets fucking, one of them
Steph.
has never slid down a water slide in their life.
It was really so everyone's like, yeah, like they're screaming,
and
but it's like,
Steph is like
yeah!
ass backwards on this fucking water
And then
slide.
one of them is just like tumbling fucking head to toe. Just like, somebody help her.
It looks
But
like,
then they
like the cartoon of someone rolling down a snow hill and turning into a snowball. Like that's how
Exactly.
she's
That's exactly what it looked like. Just
Yeah.
fucking ragdolling down this thing.
Yeah.
But they all end up in this big pool now. And they're like, where are we? And then they find,
They turn around and they see a giant ship.
and it's the pirate ship.
pirate ship. It's
What
like this
the
giant
fuck?
fucking
How does
cave.
that
They're in like a
shit
cave.
get there?
Cave in a lake.
That's a good
Magic.
question, Alika.
The guy who sets the
fuck?
booby traps put it there too, you know?
Which
He's
is
like,
now,
He's
okay, so
also
I
one of
wanted
those
to
guys
come
that
around to
puts
this.
pirate ships in bottles.
In
You know what I'm
bottles,
talking
yeah.
about?
Yeah.
It's the same.
It's the same
guy.
type of
This
guy.
is
The original
the macro
story-
version of it, yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
original story goes is that like One-Eyed Willie like found this treasure, but then like the King of Britain found out that he had it and was hunting him down. So we got this huge armada. So One-Eyed Willie went into this cave to like hide out there, and he like
Makes
caved in the entrance so that no one could get in. And then he set up a bunch of booby traps on the other side so that nobody could get his treasure. And then he killed his entire crew so that really nobody could get his
Oh.
treasure.
And
Because those were the
he
only
couldn't
So all this
even use his
information, all this
treasure.
information is in the prequel books that came out in
Yeah.
like the 90s of the
Exactly.
Goonies.
No, they're in like
Yes.
they're in
Empire,
like
The one-eyed Willie
Yes.
spinoff.
they're in like the fan-made novels. You know how there are like
The
Star Trek.
fanfics?
You know they're like Star Trek novels.
Oh,
Sure.
that
fanfics,
fans
yeah,
write?
yeah.
The Goonies novelization series.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That stuff's not
novelization.
canon though. That's not canon for this.
Exactly.
that's
That's all headcanon
Oh,
bullshit.
my bad. I
One-eyed
thought it
Willie
was.
is just a metaphor for a penis. There's no pirates. This whole movie is about
They
sex.
find
That's
One-Eyed
what it
Willie,
is,
and he's
yeah.
just a large human-sized penis.
Yeah.
That's
but, okay, so the thing
fucking
is,
terrifying.
okay, so they set up. Let me get this straight. So One-Eyed Willie set up all this shit
Yes.
and got all this shit to get all these traps together,
Yes.
and then just sat and did not move until
Yep.
they died.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, as
'Cause
long
they
as we're on
find
the
him.
same
They find him
understanding.
on
He
the
just
ship.
wants
They
to
go onto the
sit
ship.
on
Little
his
pirate.
treasure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Not
So
yet.
yeah, so they're in the cave where One-Eyed Willie like finally laid his final plan,
Yeah.
and like they get onto the ship.
His plan,
And,
which involved, just dying.
Dying
Just
on
done.
his
Exactly.
Like,
money.
he set up all these
Exactly.
traps, and then he was like, "Okay, if anybody moves, we're going to set up the traps. So everyone has to stay still."
To
Yeah.
be fair though, your job as a pirate is to
Ow.
find treasure, and he did. So
Yeah.
where do you go from there,
Spend
career-wise?
it.
Career-wise,
Spend
Buy
it,
a nice
baby.
scimitar.
Yeah.
Get some cannons.
really?
Cannons.
Do are pirates supposed to spend the treasure that they find, or
What
I
else are you
thought
supposed to do with it?
find? I don't know.
Find
I don't know.
more.
because I
Invest
thought-
it properly.
Yeah.
Make
Put
a
it in-
company.
Buy
it in an
autographed
RRSP.
jerseys from sports stars. That's what he should do.
Start
I
a
don't know.
sports team. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
So they find the treasure finally. It's
Yeah,
all
massive
fucking
treasure.
over.
Yeah.
They see
Fuck,
One-Eyed
took
Willie
you
because he's got
guys.
the eye patch.
Oh,
He's
yes.
got to be the only. He's
They
the only
find
one
the,
with
the
one
body
eye.
of One-Eyed Willie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cute.
skeleton.
Standing at the head of his
Ow.
The
table.
rotting skeleton. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
The
they're like,
Fratellis
what
capture them.
Come
yeah,
on.
and they're like, well, how are we?
Really?
How should we? Sorry.
The Fratellis really capture them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What the fuck?
They
Yeah,
show
because
up.
so they're all like legit. Like, actually, it's kind of a funny scene. They're like, okay, we got all this gold. Look, here's what we should do. If we lead a trail of gold into one cave and then stand in the other cave, the Fratellis will go the wrong way and we can run for it. And then Mama Fratelli like kicks in the door with a gun and she's like, that was a great plan. Like,
What the fuck?
'Cause well, they really weren't far behind them the entire time.
well,
No,
I
it's just
think like, how
scary.
did they get how do they get across the broken floor?
That's what I'm thinking.
They showed it in the movie. They like crawl. They like side.
They shimmy,
yeah,
they
they-
They
sidled.
side shimmy like
Yeah.
in Zelda.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
like a sidle.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
oh,
That's what I was thinking too.
Exactly. They shimmied along and got their way there.
I
So-
don't believe this Mama Fratelli is that nimble.
Mammy.
no.
No.
She just long jumped. She just like
Yeah.
did a flip.
No, they just
She did, like, the
Lord of the
triple
Rings
jump?
it. They just like tossed him. The brothers just tossed her through over the
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah.
Either way, she's here.
But they
baby.
got there somehow. So now,
Yeah.
They're
now
cornered.
They're trying
Now
to make
fight.
them walk the plank. They're like,
Yeah.
we have their sword. We have these pirate swords we found on the ship. We're gonna.
What the
We're gonna-
fuck?
Did they go
Make
full
you walk
pirate?
the
It's
plank.
funny because they push Andy
That's so
off
silly.
the plank
It
and she
is.
falls into the water and they treat it like she's falling into shark infested. You were all just in this. Like she's fine.
Well,
she's not even tied up. Oh, do they tie? They do tie her hands.
They tie her hands, but
she can't swim.
Her feet are untied.
But like, really, how far can you get with just your feet?
You can tread water for sure.
You could theoretically,
but
I guess.
But a lot of people don't know how to swim. Actually, it's a
that's a good point.
Thing.
You know, she might just
really like learned.
People float though,
exactly. Float on your back. Just
yeah.
We're done.
Yeah, she'd probably be okay.
Yeah. Just manifest yourself as a buoy and just float.
Yeah. It'll work.
But anyway, Brandy jumps after her.
Yeah.
And like
Brandy?
Brandy from Cinderella.
Brandy.
Jumps into the
Brandy,
water after
the recording
her.
artist?
Exactly.
Yes.
Wait, do you guys not know about Brandy Cinderella?
You guys have seen the Cinderella?
What the fuck is that?
Should we talk about another movie right now?
You guys don't know about the famous television movie Cinderella starring Brandy and Whitney Houston?
Yeah, prequel to the Goonies.
I have heard of that. I have.
Okay, good. I don't expect to like it too because I know what podcast I'm on. But
also, important detail: while Chunk was locked in with Sloth watches a bunch of old movies. He loves these old movies, and one of which is like, I think it's like Pirates of the Penzance or something. No, maybe that's the musical, but it's like it was a pirate movie he's watching. Some dude like fucking goes down the sail with a knife, and he's like, I love this movie. So important note because what happens next?
Yeah. So Brandy Brody, what the fuck is that character? Brand jumps into the water to save Andy, and then all the kids are like, "No, what are we gonna do?" And
Mama Fratelli's like, 2 down, 4 to go.
Let's get him. Oh, actually, one more really important note: Mike empties out his marble bag and fills it with gold coins.
Okay.
So he also fills in like his coat and
all
his
of his shit with gold coins, and the Fratellis make everyone empty out their gold. Which, by the way, Mouth put treasure in his mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're going to get a disease.
Yeah. He put like 10,000-year-old treasure, like 10,000-year-old pearls in his mouth.
You're going to get the actual Black Death. Like, it's still on that ship.
That's the bubonic plague. Yeah. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, the Black Plague is just like sitting in that ship for years.
Just incubating.
He doesn't know. Yeah.
But so all the treasure on the deck, and the Fratelli's like, we're going to take this. And then Sloth and Chunk show up, and the famous line, Sloth goes, "Hey, you guys!" And like jumps with his knife and like rides he like cuts the sail all the way down.
Yeah.
And shows up, and they're all like, Chunk! And then and Sloth starts like beating up the Fratellis or something. Or like scares them. And then all of the kids jump in the water, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they all jump in the water, but the most fucked up scene is the brothers got Sloth like tied up like with a rope, but he's got fucking rope, and he slams the brothers, and then the mother is trying to calm him down by singing like "Hush, Little Baby" or something.
Rockabye Baby.
No, Rockabye Baby.
Yeah. And I'm only being specific because it does matter.
When she gets to the line like, when the bow
breaks, the cradle will fall.
Yeah, when the bow breaks, the cradle will fall, and Sloth just starts freaking out because it's clear that's what happened. She like dropped him as a baby.
Yeah,
that's like the story behind
Which
Sloth.
is nuts because it's like, would you drop him off the roof of your house? So like, how the hell did Sloth become Sloth? Like what?
Yeah. It's insane.
Also, Sloth is like, he like rips open his shirt before they leave the restaurant, and he's wearing like an S, like a Superman shirt.
Like a Superman. And it plays the fucking like the
I'm so confused.
It's fucking like, oh, okay. I guess he directed this movie.
Fair enough.
He did.
He owns the right, I guess. But then why do the kids jump off the boat? They're trying to escape.
Yeah, they're trying to escape the Fratellis.
They're just dunzo. And they're like, and Mike's like, what about the loot? And it's like, what about your life?
Yeah. Which like fair.
It's understandable.
It makes sense.
Don't be like One-Eyed Willie.
Right?
Yeah.
But
the
Sloth
kids
ties up the family. He like, he's like tying them up.
He's like, Mama, you've been bad. And she's like, I know, but I only did it to keep you safe. And he's like, okay. And he like psychs her out somehow. And like pushes her off the plank.
He just tosses her into the water.
Yeah, he like lifts her up like bridal style and like tosses her into the water
and she
after
dies.
she sings a rockabye Baby.
She just dies.
Yeah.
Sinks to the bottom like a rock and drowns.
Solid.
Yeah. He like
What
throws
the
her off.
fuck?
He completely betrayed. It is so easy for him to betray his family, might I add.
I mean,
Because
feel
they
like
were not his family; they were his
I was gonna
captors.
say.
Right.
Well, I feel like today's television, they would try and write in like but they're your family type story.
Their family.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like, that
Be
may be my,
accomplished with
like she
family.
may have locked me up in a basement from the time I was 3 months old until I was 27.
And then
That's my
Dom Toretto,
mom.
yeah.
No, Sloth is like, fuck these people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck this
Fuck
bitch.
these people.
I don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
And like,
And
just
he
completely
jumps
throws
into
them
the
off.
water and fucking howls
Oh,
with the
okay.
kids.
I think,
Yeah.
but I think we might have this a little backwards. Sloth jumps into the water to help the kids escape because he has to
Yes.
lift up the rock.
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
The rock that leads them
Okay.
to the exit
Yeah.
to the beach.
But then
Well,
the
rocks
Fratellis on
that
the
are, like,
inside,
covering, yeah.
the Fratellis on the inside of the ship were taking the gold coins because there's a
Mhm.
thing. So in front of One-Eyed Willie was a scale, like a measuring scale, and one was like clicked all the way down. And Mike was like, "Don't take that.
Yeah.
That's for One-Eyed Willie."
yeah.
I think
That's Willie's gold.
Like, grab anything else that you want, but like, we'll leave some gold here for Willie.
And then
Okay.
the
Then the
Fratellis
Fratellis take all of
take
the gold.
that gold, which then
Mhm.
triggers a trap,
Yeah.
Come
and the
on.
whole cavern starts to
Yeah.
like collapse.
Yeah,
And, like, it gets really
greediness
insane.
caused their
Yeah.
demise. It's
Yeah.
a
Exactly.
lesson.
Same with One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah.
It's
Capitalism,
Exactly.
the silent killer. But Sloth gets everybody out, and then they're out on the beach, and then I think
he gets everyone out, and he's like holding the rock, and like Chunk is the last to go, but they're
Chunk.
like but the Sloth is the only one who can hold this rock, so he's not going to be able to like get out.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
It's curious
and then
what his
Sloth,
future
Chunk is like,
would be.
no, Sloth, no, you got to come with us. And then Sloth goes, Sloth, love Chunk.
that's right.
Yeah.
And Chunk is like, I love you
Chunk.
too, buddy. I love you.
Oh,
it's so
they had a very nice
So
relationship.
Sloth like
Yeah.
sacrifices himself to like save Chunk, whom he loves,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
But then-
the kids get out.
But then, all the Fratellis get out as well. But
Yeah,
how do
I
they get out?
I don't know
fucking
how
know
they get
how.
out, but they do
Come
get
on.
out.
Everybody,
All of
including
them?
Sloth, cuts out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all
Okay.
get out.
And Sloth lives.
But
Like, it's
they're on,
fine.
they're on the beach. There's a great shot of them all walking the beach. You see these rock formations where they came from and everything. And I'm still thinking, like, yeah, that's Northern Ontario.
Yeah,
Totally.
the coast, right? The coast of Northern Ontario. Yeah,
exactly. There's a lake
The
with
coast-
that
the
coast
wild
of Northern
waves.
Ontario.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you poor
But then
sweet
the cops
boy.
show up and they're like, "Oh shit, that Chunk kid wasn't lying. They're
Yeah.
right over there."
Yeah, there's
And
the
They're like
Fatels.
doing their morning ATV.
Yeah, like, what
patrol
are
on
they
the
doing?
beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, what the hell are these kids doing here?
We also we've already met like Mikey and Bran's mom, but then we meet all the rest of the parents. Like
Yeah.
Dada's dad is also an inventor, and he has a fucking like
Classic.
he's got like an extendo camera thing that
Yeah,
comes out and
exactly.
he takes
He's
a
got like
family
the OG
picture.
selfie
Oh my
stick.
goodness.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's kind of
cute.
brilliant,
And
actually.
then Chunk's family is obviously two heavier set parents who are like, here's a big box of pizza we brought for
Yeah,
you.
they're,
Yeah.
they're like, "Son, where were you? We missed you for 24 hours. We got you Domino's." And like
yeah.
they open it up, and it's just like they start like feeding him.
They
Yeah.
all start like mowing down on the pizza as a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be sweet.
It's Domino's too. It's such bullshit. I'm like, you couldn't give your son something a little better.
Look where they live. You think there's a nice
go to
pizza
Papa
place in this
John's.
town?
I guess. They're Goonies. All they can do is Domino's.
Yeah.
I like Domino's personally, but
I don't think
And
I've
so,
ever had
um,
it.
And then like
That's
they're
fair.
like arresting everyone. They're like, oh, and then they're like, no, don't arrest Sloth. Don't arrest Sloth. He helped us. And then Chunk is just like, you live with me now. Sloth.
yeah.
Sloth,
No.
I'm gonna take you home.
Yeah.
Come
Sloth
on.
is Chunk walks up to Sloth and is like, Sloth, I'm gonna take you home and you're gonna live with me now. And Sloth is like, Baby Ruth? Or something like that.
He's just
What?
like, Mom,
Yeah.
Dad, we're adopting this full grown man. He's
Yeah.
gonna live in our house.
Sloth goes, "You stay, I go," and then rockets into the sun.
Wait, for real? Does that happen? Or
No,
sorry.
that's another
You guys
reference to
can't.
another movie. Sorry.
Yeah.
okay.
And then
can't.
Cam, she hasn't seen any movies. You can't make movie references. Do you know where you are?
I'm sorry. It was
Get
just,
the fuck
it
together.
was just the really innocent. Like, did that really happen?
Like the end of Grace, Sloth just like flies off into the sun.
Just the soles of his feet, like.
yeah.
Everything's been kind of absurd so far.
So,
Could
it
have
is-
been.
it- I mean,
Dad
it's pretty
gives him his
absurd.
shoes, and they also have jetpacks in them.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like fly away.
So-
Oh my god.
So,
oh my god.
Just to
Sorry.
Yeah.
illustrate how shitty the rich people in this town are. These
Mm.
kids have been missing,
All right.
and the
okay.
cops are there. Their families. It's a reunition. You know, they reunite. Yet these rich fucks are still there to be like to like Brandon and Mikey's dad. Like, you got to sign the contract for your house right now on this beach where you just found your missing children.
Jesus Christ.
And he's like, okay, I guess I'll sign the contract. And then the Spanish housekeeper has Mikey's little bag, and she's like, no, like don't sign it, but in Spanish or whatever.
Yeah. So Mouth has to translate it really quick.
Yeah. So they have, because she found all the jewels that Mikey took in the bag.
Jeez.
And so they're like, we can pay for the whole Goondocks. We can save the Goondocks with all these jewels.
What?
And then Mikey's dad, who looks like a Who from Whoville.
Yeah.
Come on.
Doesn't he?
Really?
He's got
He's
some
got like a
lip.
tiny
Like
little
a-
nose.
Really?
He's got some lip.
That's a really good way of putting it.
Sorry.
Also, like I love this so much because like he pulled a bit of a Harmony Korine here, where he the Steven Spielberg obviously reused like B-roll footage of the dad signing the contract, because he goes to sign the contract and he signs one page and then he flips up the second page and then he like pinches the bridge of his nose to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to sign away my entire neighborhood. And then like as the Spanish housekeeper is like freaking out and being like, no, don't sign. It flashes back to the dad and it's like the same shot of him like lifting up the paper and then like pinching the bridge of his nose. And it's like, wow, gee, I wonder where I've seen that before.
Yeah, maybe from 5 minutes ago.
Maybe from 5 minutes ago when I just saw it.
But
Yeah.
so, but my favorite part is that like they hold these stones and like, okay, I understand it's like a low budget movie, but these are like very clearly like plastic rocks.
They're
you
like,
get from
they're
like
like,
dollar
they're
store.
like shiny rocks you put at the
They're
bottom
from
of an
fish
aquarium.
tanks. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Fish tank
yeah.
rocks.
Same brain, Will. Same
They're
brain.
real.
And then the dad, like, they literally goes like, Dad, look, we can do it. And then like not skipping a beat, just like, fuck this contract. Like,
He there's like no
that's enough
signing
money.
today. He actually says no
Yes.
signing today or ever, and you're like, you're a museum creator. I'm pretty sure you got to sign some shit.
And
every once in a while.
probably once.
But he
You didn't even
throws-
praise
he-
these jewels.
He throws. It's funny. He throws
Right.
up the paper like confetti, but it's very
Cute.
clear. Like 3 other people are throwing
like,
more
way
paper in the
more
shot
than
because it goes.
yeah.
It's like pipes, just like
Yeah.
He like throws his initial thing up and it's like,
Oh my God.
it rains down.
Yeah.
And the day's saved, and that
They don't have to sell
happily
the
ever after.
Goonies.
The Goondocks are
Exactly.
saved.
Everyone, they get the series is over.
Yeah.
Yep.
They capped it.
They
in this
capped it
final
with the movie. They had 6
Right.
seasons of the movie. That's
Exactly.
What
I
happened,
also
yeah.
feel like I need to add, because like this is on t-shirts and I would be remiss to not include this to Alenka so that she doesn't, I hope that she understands this reference, but like when they're in the bottom of the water of the wishing well, and Mikey's giving his whole speech about like, we can't give up on the journey. The one girl is like, but we gotta stop before somebody dies. And he's like, don't say die. Goonies never say die.
Yeah, that's a big line. Yeah, Goonies.
Yeah.
That was almost the name of this drink. Goonies never say die, but then I usually don't like including the movie title in the movie drink.
Fair. That makes sense. So that's a good call.
Good call.
But yeah, so like if you're out and you see like a Jolly Roger with like Goonies never say die on it, it's like this thing where like, you know, they're an insular little
Persevere,
community and you
baby.
never give up on each other.
Yeah.
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 Like we're the
That's
Goonies. We
cute.
never say die. We'll do whatever it takes to save our neighborhood. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's the end. They save the city, they save the neighborhood, and
Chonk.
They
the
do.
rich guys cry.
That's
and,
right.
Good. Fuck
Capitalism loses another
What
one.
the fuck
Yeah, and
else
Sloth
do
gets
they
a home.
need?
And
You know?
yeah, I know.
Rich
They
guys.
need the country club. They need all
Yeah.
of it.
The
Okay.
thing is that there's already
It's a
we saw that there was
stupid thing.
already
I know.
a country
There
club.
I was
was.
just
It
gonna
was a
say,
tennis
like,
club, yeah.
don't grow up,
Like they were
guys.
gonna make like a second one or like a bigger one.
Make
I don't
it
know if they were gonna
bigger.
expand on it.
No, it's
Make it
parking for the
shinier.
country
Yeah.
club. They're gonna pave over the whole town
yeah.
with a parking lot.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
that's
that's,
the Goonies.
that's the
That's the
Goonies. That's
Goonies.
the Goonies.
As like bizarre as it
Gooners.
all kind of pans out, I dig it. I'm kind of
Right?
surprised
Yeah.
I've
It's-
never seen
it's
it,
a fun movie.
and I want to like.
You know, it's not the most now that I write for a living. It's not the best script, but
No.
it is a fantastic adventure.
Yeah.
Like
Right,
I gotta
right.
say, like when I was a kid, I remember like the first time I walked away from this movie, like dreaming of like being Andy and being like, wait a second, guys, I just so happen to know how to play piano. And like I saved the day with
Right.
like my crazy like piano
Yeah.
skills.
Well, that was the appeal, right? Like kids doing
Yeah.
kid shit, but it matters. And
Yeah.
then it ends up like
and
Yeah,
there's always
saving
a
the day.
true.
challenge that just so happens to meet like your niche talent that your parents made you do when you
Yeah.
were a kid.
Except for Data, where it happens like 9 times.
And it comes
Yeah.
in. Yeah, exactly. He's like, I just so happen to have a contraption for this.
Mikey's talent was that he had asthma. He had asthma, by the way. We forgot about that
asthmatic.
part.
Yeah.
Well,
superpower,
now it
being
makes
asthmatic.
sense.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he's
exactly.
great at extending his speeches longer than they need to be. Yeah.
But I have to say, like,
Oh no, I like it.
the thing about this movie, like, I've never seen this movie. It's the first time I saw it was today. So it's like,
Right.
this movie really is like an assault on the senses sometimes because it's like everyone talks at once and they're all screaming and like characters break off and go into these like weird little like solo tangents while other characters are still talking.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Please, like I said, it's a lot. It attacks you like that a lot, especially because, like I've said, it feels like we're supposed to already know everything about these characters.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But that's a good filmmaking technique is when the characters in the world is so established that it's like you're jumping into like the second episode of a fucking season 2. Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah,
it really does. It really felt like that a lot. Actually, there were plenty of times where I was like,
there's a lot of filling in the blanks that you had to do as the audience to
100%.
understand. And like, I really only didn't fully understand it until that was a sentence. I really only didn't fully understand it
Sam,
until
the writer.
I write plays. Could you like rewind to like I write plays for a living?
Yeah, I don't do that intensive editing, guys. I'm sorry.
But yeah, no, like, what the fuck was I saying before you made fun of me?
I don't know, but I'm too drunk.
Yeah, I'm too
I stopped
drunk
you
to
with my
remember.
sick burn.
But yeah, no, like it's the adventure that makes it. It's not the like the fancy writing or like not even particularly like the special effects because like there's not many, but like the few that are in there, it's like whoa.
Well, I really like the whole like dungeon design. The whole film design of the movie is good.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Like
it's very
when they eventually get
practical
below,
and nice. Yeah,
you know, it's like they find this like pirate maze in like Midwestern, Northern Ontario. You know, like
Midwest, Northern Ontario.
exactly. You know, so it's kind of funny, right? Because like I think it plays on the fantasy of being a kid and living in a town. You think it's kind of boring,
Yeah.
but then you find out there's a haunted house, or there's a hidden treasure. You know, and it's like it's a cool little fun venture movie that way.
Like nostalgia that I feel like I'm just gonna feel when I watch this is gonna be like oof. It's gonna be nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think that you'd watch it? Like you'd be interested in watching it?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
always
I
ask
just need
this
to find
question.
out where the fuck you have it.
It's on
I'll
Crave.
get it to you. I'll get it to you. I like
Classic.
Yeah, we watched it on Crave,
Will.
but
It is on Crave if you have. Oh, but you need the movies and HBO package to watch it. We pay like $250 a year for like the
like a
movies
couple
and
of
HBO
Goonies.
package.
Yeah.
Just the Goonies,
Excuse
actually.
me?
Yeah, exactly. Sam and I watch the
Yikes,
Goonies
guys.
every single month, or at least we are now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Goonies.
Alenka,
Talk to me. Yes.
how many big, long, one-eyed willies do you give this movie?
I give it 70. Big
70?
Wills. Yeah.
70.
I was feeling that. I was
a
feeling
number.
like that number. You know, it's
Good
like
number.
it's an obscene amount, right? But like it just does the job. You know.
Yeah,
Like
it's
we have
probably
an
about
army.
70 jewels in the jewels that save the day, bag.
I wish
Probably.
I knew how many were actually in there, but then I would have said that. But essentially, a stupid amount that you're like, that can't be right. But then you're like, it works.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I'm just somebody in our Discord reminded us, the Chill Spot Discord
Okay.
reminded us of the 37 dicks. I'm over it.
I'm just kidding.
They reminded us of
37
the
dicks in a row,
37
yeah.
dicks
From Clerks.
too.
Yeah.
My girlfriend sucked 37
Yeah,
dicks
yeah.
in a row.
Have you seen Clerks, Alenka? Any of the Clerks
Meh.
movies?
maybe a long
Another
time
movie
ago.
that aged like yogurt, but like
I mean, it would be fun.
I'm a big fan of Kay Smith, so one day
Right,
we'll have
right.
him on
Yeah.
the show. Yeah.
And you know what? K.
I'm
Smith
familiar
knows
with.
that it aged like yogurt.
Yeah.
He's
he
not like
leans into it.
defending Clerks like
No,
it's
he's
like
I've written better movies.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
according to him anyway.
it's
but
fine.
like,
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I think
Yeah.
Clerks is
Yeah.
funny. I mean, you kind of have to just like
I think
consider
Clerks
the
It
era.
still
Two is
has
funnier
its
than Clerks
charms.
one.
It still has
It has its charms.
Yeah.
It has
Like I
its
said, I
Yes,
watch
yes, yes.
Family Guy a lot, so obviously I'll
I
find
was about to
humor
say,
in a lot
okay.
of horrible stuff.
I bet if you
I
watch
feel like you would
I'm
actually
a
like
piece
the
of
Clerks
shit.
movies.
I wonder if they've done a full episode of Family Guy parody of the Goonies. I know they've done like jokes
They
with
haven't.
the Goonies, but I
No,
wonder if
they
they've done
haven't
like a full.
done
They
like a full
have
Star
not.
Wars like
No.
what they do.
Oh, they
like,
should.
No,
They
I-
should.
They should.
It'd be cool. They do some cool stuff.
Meg would be
I always like when
Sloth.
they do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
200%
totally.
would be Sloth.
Yeah.
Totally.
And she'd be normal. She wouldn't even look weird.
Yeah,
She would just look
she'd
exactly
be-
the same.
She'd be like in a room,
And
like
they-
watching Laguna Beach.
And they
Oh, yeah.
treat her like she's a monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
the whole point. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd
Sloth
be great.
never
like,
gets a
oh, she's so
comeback.
ugly. Oh my god.
At the
This is just
end,
Meg.
like at the end, Chunks is just like, well, I guess this is goodbye. Does not invite her to live with him.
It doesn't take a while. Well, good luck, Meg.
Oh, man.
Best of luck for the rest of your life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you for coming back
Yes.
on the show.
Thank you for having
I
us.
think it'll be.
For
This was
the-
definitely the sloppiest of the chill spot.
Have you
features.
heard our Jaws episode?
Yeah.
The Jaws one is actually
I
better
don't
than this
know.
one. I think.
Really?
Oh, come on.
The
I
It doesn't
slot-
seem sloppy.
Cam stopped drinking because of the Jaws
I was
episode.
gonna
so-
say. I
Didn't
put the
seem
sauce
sloppy
away
to
forever,
me.
Sam.
Put it
It
down.
was a-
Yeah,
it was
like,
at one point-
Thank you so much. Where can
Yes.
people follow you? There's many places, and
You
I
guys-
believe I
Get
follow
ready.
all of them,
You can
so.
find us all over the internet. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at ChillSpot Show.
Yes.
That's our handle. You can find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/ChillSpot,
Yes.
where we stream 2 evenings and 1 morning a week.
Yes.
We release our podcast, the ChillSpot Podcast, on all streaming services plus YouTube every Tuesday at 3 p.m.
Yes.
And if you follow us on YouTube, you should subscribe. You can watch our comedy shorts we do
Comedy
now.
Shorts.
Yeah.
Which, as soon as my second shot kicks in, I got it today. But like as soon as like that 7 to 14 day period passes, fucking like Will and a link are fucking
100%.
in a
Yeah.
short.
You guys want to come over and make a short or two?
We'll make it
Whatever
short.
happened to the short that we filmed with you guys? Is
It's
that
coming.
happening?
It's
Yeah,
coming.
Will.
I feel
It's
like you've
on-
said
It's
that the
all
last
in
2
Will.
times
I
we've done your
have
podcast.
a
I'm not
lot
gonna
of,
lie.
I have a lot of sketches on the back burner that need to be edited, but I do need to sit down and get that going. All those
Cool.
sketches
It's
we
like-
filmed
That's fair.
that are
Cool.
This
That's
was
fair.
like
Maybe
my
a sense
passion project for Big Cake too, where I was like, I
It
really
was,
want
it
to do
was.
this one.
It's
Will
your
never
sketch. It was like
made
specifically your big idea sketch, and it's still going. It's still happening.
Still waiting. Well, I
Classic.
can't wait to see it.
Fuck you guys.
And
Yeah.
we'll do a Big Cake Chill Spot crossover.
Yes.
you go.
We'll do
A
it.
Yeah.
crossover episode.
Where we do a
Mm.
bunch of sketches together. I mean, I'm actually not even being facetious. I would love that. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Honestly,
Yes.
can't
Yes,
wait.
please.
It's all
Well, yes,
coming, baby.
that is all of our influence. If you guys want to follow more Chill Spot,
That's all the places where we are at.
Yes.
I'm normally not this drunk when I do it,
no, Sam is bone sober every
Yeah.
episode of the Chill Spot
and
podcast.
just as incoherent.
Whatevs.
yes,
Yeah.
so somehow less concise.
Yeah.
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 Your Twitch streams would be pretty interesting if you you got hammered for them.
You think I
Right.
hammered? Oh yeah, you should
Actually-
try that sometime.
Well, actually, like I
once.
am getting
Try
drunk with a
once.
bunch of my Twitch friends and
That's
playing
right.
and playing a Nancy Drew computer game. If you want to tune into twitch.tv/chillspot on July 24th, and if you also have played the Nancy Drew point and click adventure games by Her Interactive, we'll be playing Phantom of Venice, and I'm gonna be sloshing my face off and helping my friend Tina
Yes.
get through it. So
There you go.
Yes,
It's gonna be
Tina.
fun.
Join
It's gonna be a
in
lot
for
of
Check
fun.
it out.
Yeah.
Check them
Yeah.
out. And also, they've got over 100 episodes of podcasts. So get
Fuck
in those
yeah, bud.
archives. Listen.
Mhm.
Hives.
We're in there once. So
That's right.
check it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that there will be a twice and even a thrice on our podcast.
Yes.
Of
We have
course
some
there
catching
will.
up to do once we're all vaxxed and
A
waxed.
thruple.
and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ready to hack.
It's a
Oh
hot
my God.
vax summer coming up for all of us.
There we go.
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
Yes. Well, if you want to see and hear more of us on the Haven't
Yeah.
Seen podcast, if you're not already following us and you're just listening to this because you're like, it seems interesting, follow us on Instagram, haven't seen a podcast, and on Facebook at haven't seen a podcast, and on Twitter at haven't_seen_it. Yes, that's the handle. I got confused for a second. We also have a website, haven'tseenapodcast.com, where you can see the big list of movies Alinka hasn't seen, as well as all our episodes are there. So you can listen through there, or Spotify, or iTunes, or YouTube, or Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're there, hopefully. If we're not on it,
Tell us.
write
gonna
them
sue.
and be like, you better fucking get Haven't Seen a
Figure your
Podcast on
shit
this
out.
app. Yeah. Or I'm going to tell everyone that you were all
You canceled.
canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, write us a review because those help. Apparently, I'd love a review. Even just like if it's like a yearly review where you tell us how we're doing and maybe you don't like it,
Like
Tell
a
me.
quarterly
Yeah.
check-in.
Yeah.
Performance review. Yeah.
Performance
Yes,
review.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what that's
Exactly.
called.
Exactly.
Never worked
Yeah.
for corporate, but yes,
Be like,
yes. all
please
that.
stop. We are over inundated with chill
Stop.
spot. Please
Yeah.
make another
Get these
friend.
clowns off
Come
this
on.
cast.
Please make another friend, Will. God.
And then we're
I
going to
know.
cancel that audience member. Fuck off.
Yeah. And by cancel, we mean kill.
Yeah. Well, I
Brad.
played the Haven't Seen a Podcast.
Brad. Did
Five
you
stars.
say Brad?
It's always a
He's
brand.
gonna listen to this and be like, "No!" Oh God! Shout out to anyone from the Perhaps from the
Yeah.
Show Spot community who gets that.
Brad is both of our number one fans. For those of
Yes.
you who don't know who Brad
Exactly.
is, yeah, both of Chill Spot and haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks again
guys.
for having us, guys.
Super. I mean,
Always good to talk.
we'd gladly come on another one if you
Next
have
Chill
us.
Spot podcast next Haven't Seen It podcast in person.
In
Yeah, there you go.
person, baby. Can't
Yeah.
wait
Full
for the
party.
in-persons. And you guys,
Just get every guest you've ever had in the same room. We'll all do an episode at the same time.
Oh yeah, 100
Holy
episode,
shit,
100 guest
that would be-
episode. Let's do that.
that would be fucking insane. Honestly, we now have to
And
do
it's like,
that.
it's not, like it's just like Will walks up to a set of bleachers with every single guest from the Haven't Seen It podcast, and he just goes, "So, the top at the end of Inception, what happens? Go!" And it's just like a wall of sound.
Just a cacophonous
That would be so
assault on
amazing.
your ears. Yeah,
And I'll just be
it's
sitting
labeled
there
a
like
bioweapon.
Uh-huh.
Like it's just like I can't do
Yeah.
anything.
Trying to get a word
Yeah.
in edgewise.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, getting talked over again. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I can't wait. It'll be good.
But yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah.
the end.
Yes.
I guess, is that our call? Are we-
Yeah, I'm
are we allowed to
trying.
end
I'm
their
trying
podcast?
to finish
Will.
it on that fucking note. Guys, if you're a little bit different, it's fine. Stick to it. Stick to what you believe in, and do the truffle shuffle, baby.